Hi, I'm Josh.
And I'm Miranda, and we love toys.
We're the creators of Clutter, and we make toys with our friends.
This is CZ. He's a UK-based street artist.
Hey, my name's CZ.
Ever since we met, we've been like PB&J.
CZ created the Cambot.
But wait.
Clutter's been around for almost 20 years. We started as a print magazine back in merry old England. 10 years ago, we first presented the Designer Toy Awards. This led us to create a home on the East Coast for the international designer toy community called 5 Points Festival, which we try to make the coolest party every year.
Oh!
We're all back.
Hello.
CZ's back. I'm back. Last week I was just like, my nose was running through the whole thing, and then I've been sick ever since. So my brain is just like, it's just back.
Well, everyone, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Hello, CZ.
Welcome back, Susie. Last week was really a really difficult episode
for a few reasons.
For a few reasons. Yeah. Everyone knows that our good friend Task died, and then CZ wasn't here, and so I just felt like the episode was just weird.
It was off.
It was a weird episode. Molly Miss Creations was the man.
Yes.
And I felt like he kind of carried us.
He did. It was so
he was able to answer every question. And I really wish that you were there, CZ, because it was like a really good resin conversation.
That would have been fun, yeah.
Like I know that you don't always vibe on like the Safubi dudes shit.
Yeah, no, it's just not my art style. It doesn't interest me. But I see the talent in it. But
you're really into like cute and pop and like vinyl and resin on that side, and I'm like, I like monsters, and we just we meet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, but you were missed, and it was a strange episode.
This is a better view. Wait to see us all equally.
Exactly.
There we go.
No, and I like that we're sort of like we've been doing this for so long now that like it's more like a hang. And so if you're just joining us tonight on our stream, please make sure to subscribe to our channel.
Smash the buttons, like and subscribe. If we get to 1,000 subscribers, we get to unlock extra things.
Yeah, we get.
And one day we'll get to 1,000 subscribers. It can't be that difficult.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
And you get a little plaque you can put behind you.
No. That's 100,000. Yeah,
100,000.
Yeah, that's a dream.
Is it? I thought you got a shit silver one at $1,000 or something.
No, that's 100,000. Yeah,
we could make our own like shitty resin plaque.
We should start making our own plaques. Congratulations, you do this 40 times in a row.
We can give away awards on this show
to ourselves.
For different strange things.
So, how are you, Alex? You've been in Delaware.
Yeah, I just got back from Delaware. It's a whole lot like it's like South New Jersey. That's basically what it was.
It is South New Jersey.
Is there anything like nice to look at in Delaware?
I mean, okay, like there's this pretty like little outdoor area, but it's called like the DuPont Nature Center, and you realize it's because DuPont just like poured all the chemicals into this waterway, so they're like, yeah, we should build an environmental center to make this okay. And it's decidedly not okay, but
Yeah. Is that Delwater Gap or something?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. It was Wilmington. I don't know. You ever been to Wilmington?
No, I got really drunk one weekend 20 years ago in Delaware, which was fun.
Nice. Why were you in Delaware?
Cool. Me and my crew in my 20s, we used to rent a whole. I think it was before Airbnb, so we would get like a bed. This one was just a bed and breakfast.
Oh, got it.
And we would get like 10 people, and we would rent a whole bed and breakfast, and we go there and take over. And it was usually a setup for like skiing. So they'd be like, we'd get there and they'd be like, okay, so at 6 a.m, we'll have breakfast ready for you, and then at blah blah, we'll have dinner ready for you. And we would roll in with just like a case of liquor and a Nintendo 64. We'd be like, listen, we're not getting up till noon. We're not leaving the house. We're just gonna get trashed and play video games for like 2 or 3 days. You don't have to do it. In Delaware. Well, one time it was in Delaware. One time it was in Massachusetts. One time it was in Vermont. But the one time I was in Delaware, we had like a case of liquor, an N64, a bottle of Vicodin, and then it snowed so bad that we wanted to go sledding, and we couldn't find any sleds. So we went to Walmart and bought Tupperware bins and went sledding on Tupperware bins. They shattered instantly. It was super fun. We were high. It was great. That's my Delaware story.
Good story than mine.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I think I've driven through Delaware, but I don't think we stopped anywhere near Delaware. So I have a couple of recaps to bring you.
On that note.
The current gallery shows we have on display. We have Risa Boogie Small Painting Show, and we have the Food Stamps Custom Show. I was actually going to go grab one. Maybe I will. Keep talking. I'll go grab one. Sure.
So yes.
I'm going to go see you.
Yo, what up,
Word.
Izzy?
I know what I wanted to ask you about, Alex. How was the wedding?
Oh, yeah, good call.
So sad. If you was watching, we're so sorry we didn't make it. I'm so
We
sick.
sucked.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
You breaking
Alex is just ripping shit off.
Look, there's a scuba
There he is.
shoe.
Scuba.
French
You don't
back
know
here,
that.
but these shoes right here by Scuba, an artist that we worked with in the past, got married to My Life in Yellow. So it was this primary color wedding. Everybody was decked out in primary colors, and the whole building was primary colors. Excuse me?
What color did you wear?
I wore a blue sweater with a yellow collar and red shoes. It was very festive. Yeah, totally. It was so good. And then it was great. I mean, everything was about primary colors and love, and it was festive. And yeah, I don't know what to say. It was just like, it was one of those things where you like, am I on a fucking movie set right now? It was just like one of those like cool moments, cool New York moments where it's like, this is like a once in a lifetime thing. So
Where'd they have the wedding?
That's awesome. At Scuba Studio, right?
At the studio?
Yeah,
Awesome.
so good.
Well, we're sorry that we didn't make it. We've been sick for weeks. And
We were so sick. We didn't do anything. Thanks for watching on Instagram. Go to YouTube.
yes.
So back to what I was just talking about, which was the Rio's custom show. So I grabbed Cece's custom. Here it is. So there's a couple
got left in it. Fucking hell, like.
he's still available. So someone should come and buy him.
oh shit.
And he's a tribute to which
How do
artist
I-
friend of yours, CZ?
It's just a general tribute to losing anyone in the art scene, really. But yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
Wow.
I fucked it up.
But yeah, I lost a friend up in Leeds, Alchemist, and then obviously a week later we lost Task as well. So it was
Yeah.
mental couple of weeks, isn't it?
Yeah. It's really cool. So these are on display right now. Come to the gallery, check them out in person, or check them out online at clutter.co. Hello, everybody that's joining us in the chat. I'm
What's
not
up, Frank?
ignoring you. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. So he can stay here as a little reminder. And then next at Clutter, let me take this one off. So in a couple of weeks, we have some awesome shows happening. We have in action figure 11 years of in action figures. So we brought one out to show you. I shouldn't have took it off, should I? This one is my girl action figure. It's so good. It's not Fig Toys.
Is that
Here
the
it
bee from that fucking bee movie?
This is the bee from the bee movie, yes.
Yeah, oh my god.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But here we go. So
Let's see it.
so this is upcoming. We also the same night
I
have
haven't seen this movie,
My
so the
Girl?
reference is a little like,
You've never
You ever
seen
seen
My Girl?
no, does he die from the bees? Do the
Yo,
bees kill him?
spoiler alert, fucking kid gets decimated by bees. You know?
Brilliant.
So the same night we also have Fifth Turtle, Mr. Kum Kum mashup, awesome show. Which for that show sales will be first to the people in person.
Which shows that?
That's the Fifth Turtle, Mr. Kum Kum show,
Yes.
which is going to be on display with an action figures. So that's going to be a crazy night because in action figures is always crazy. Lots of artists come. It's always a fun hangout.
Yes.
So hopefully this will be our first post-pandemic in action figures that feels like a real in action figures.
Right. Right. Because the last few have been during the pandemic.
Yep.
So done with that.
Yep.
I don't know.
So What else have we got
Come
to
out
talk
and party.
about? CZ, you have been showing off a new figure, right? Let's
Yeah.
talk about that.
I've got a couple of things going on. Yeah, I've got the little CZ and I've got the drip. And actually, the drip prototype is there's like 5 tiny holes I've got to fill on the back. But apart from that, he's like silky.
Nice.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's nice. So we got the logos in the foot. It's hard to see on the screen, isn't it? But
oh, it's nice to see the size. Like,
yeah. So that's the OG size. Yeah.
what's
I gotta
the
figure
first
out.
colorway?
We're gonna play the video of him in a second.
And we got some nice. Yeah, I made up some nice little render videos and stuff. And
I'm gonna figure this out. All right.
okay.
Let's try this one. Here he is. Let's try this one first.
So he's flapping about. Yeah. So I put a little bit of animation on him as well for the 3D. So it's quite fun. He's just flapping around a bit.
Nice.
So good.
He's
So
quite
good.
cute.
Yeah, really
very-
cute.
Let's do him again.
And so
Flap,
this
flap.
is the drip of paint.
Yeah, it's a drip. So my thinking was he's flapping about and he's gonna, it's gonna be we're gonna drop it soon. And he's like, I'll do a little background so he's dropping. So
Nice.
but yeah, that's the little concept for him.
I'm
Is this
getting the
going to be
next
produced in vinyl or resin?
resin.
In these ones.
Nice.
Resin's the new vinyl.
Swings and roundabouts. All right. Here we go. This one is going to be difficult for me to put sound on. This is little CZ. Let's see if I can do it with the sound. It's so much better with the sound.
Yeah, it's loads better.
Hang on. Give me a second to figure it out.
Yeah, we just make our own music. That's still so cool, dude. I like that this is kind of like a carryover too from like what was it, the War of Art figures that you made, like the little balaclava figures.
Yeah. He's in the same sort of series, so he'll be the same size, so he'll sit with him well, you know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
similar
cool.
sort of style, like with a nice big snapback on or whatever, and
Totally.
yeah. And they're my CZ sneakers that I made and I use on everything, I got them saved away that I can just bring out all the time, and I like them, you know what I mean? So it ties everything together a bit,
So are you actually going to make like CZ sneakers, like something that's like a wearable item?
That'd be rad, wouldn't it? That'd be fun.
Yo, that would be so dope. I would absolutely rock CZ sneakers.
They would be fun. Is anyone hearing the sound, or we just not hearing it?
Got no sound, right?
Not working.
Yeah,
no.
no sound. No sound.
Let me try again.
We can just sing a little Baby Shark right here. You just visualize it.
It's just funny with the sound, because I mixed in a little auto tune voice from online, so it says little CZ, and it's funny.
Frank is saying that we need to do a little chat claim for this piece right now. So I don't know, there might be a little bit of like elbows and like trying to get into the front of the line for this one. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
You can hear it?
And then what?
Yay!
Yay, that's got to work. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
I got to figure it out.
Thank you.
Let's see. Was there other images? Let's see.
Yeah, some images too to show as well.
All right, let me get that up. This one. This one.
Are you still designing cam bots as well, like colorways of cam bots, or is this kind of a new direction that you're exploring?
Well, we got series 2 of the little ones coming out, and I do what I do, man. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here's the concept of the drip. Yeah. So he's just a little spray can drip. That's in front of him, nice and drippy.
Where do I?
He's
And then,
dope.
yeah, lots of different colors. You know, you can see him in loads of colors.
I'm excited to collect them. We're out of space, but we're
You
going
are?
to figure it out. We're out of space.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Oh, yo, that's cool.
Yeah, so there he is with the little spray can drip. You know, and it's like, you know. So yeah, the actual OG ones are going to be 3.5 inches, but I thought it'd be cool to maybe do the little CZ with a little micro one. Do you know what I mean? It'd be right.
Yeah.
If you just came with it, so that was cool. So that's all done. I modelled everything on ZBrush, and then I brought everything into Blender. So the little CZ and the drip are all rendered. So we've got a realistic render going on with the brick, and we've also got like a gravel floor. And then I managed to look like I wheat pasted the guru on the brick wall as well. I've even got the texture coming through. So,
Nice.
so yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with the Blender stuff. You know what I mean? And making things look like hyper realistic, but still in the toy world. Do you know what I mean? Like a little diorama. I like it. You know.
That's right.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's
We
fun.
expect any other ones?
All the colors. We can do all the colors.
All the colours, yeah. And I think maybe we'll name them after actual spray colours that I use. So that would be quite fun. You know what I mean?
That's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
I'm hoping to get the first ones by 5 points, right?
I think so. Yeah, it's already shipped. So I think I'll be shipping it with my chicken for the Creon show, or maybe with the action figures because I've got to do them as well. So.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I've been busy doing that.
Yes, you have. All right.
I also have a drop going on right now, and there's
Let me get the hot cam up.
the hot cam.
The hot
So I did this really awesome double cast Bog Dweller that we're calling the Wraith of Bog. Thank you, Bog Squad, for letting me participate with your awesome piece that's like classic. You know, the Bog Dweller's dope. So totally an honor to be involved with it. And thank you for everyone who grabbed one. There's only a couple left. So this is going to be the last chance to get one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's so good. How much are they?
They're $200.
$200. And
Nice.
yeah, super cool. And they glow in the dark. The internal skeleton glows in the dark, and the final ones will have a glow in the dark bit inside the ball, which is not on
that's a
this prototype.
surprise.
Well, it's only our friends here.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yes. Yeah. So we double casted the ball as well.
That's pretty good. I love
Elliot-
that all of your
Elliot,
sculpts say gross.
yeah, Elliot.
Sorry, Alex. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying, I love that the sculpts say gross on the back. It's a nice, like, subtle, but like really, like, kind of like, you know, standout thing.
I
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
good.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Good job. All right. Anything
Cool.
else to talk about at preview? What the hell is this? This is a cappuccino. It's so strong.
You asked for a cappuccino.
I know, but I just drank this chocolate frappuccino. So this after this is like,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
oh.
The only other, I mean, we have that guy we could show.
You know what? I snuck that. Is that?
Snooked.
I snucked. I
Sneaked?
sneak previewed that on network last week because somebody was asking me to. So
Yeah.
I did. So we
Okay.
could. Do you want it?
Yeah, I want to see it. What you got?
We've got the next colorway of the Daniel Johnston frog. So this is the Jeremiah in green. This is the Hope colorway.
Yes.
Wasn't it
and
green anyway?
No, it was white.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
This one was white. Yeah, this one's green. The final version, the stalk is brown.
Yes.
And the pink lips are a bit of a different color. This one has the yippee on the back. I don't know if you see this.
Oh,
so,
nice.
yeah. So, and he's on a brown stump, not a grey stump like the white one. So that's a sneak peek. That's coming soon.
He's coming very soon.
It's being worked on. We have a lot of things that are currently being wrapped up, and hopefully we'll deliver soon. So, are we ready to move on to today's guest?
Yes.
Yeah, I reckon.
Very excited to talk with the man.
I'm very excited too. We've talked to Hot Actor a few times live, and it's been on like a network show. And we've always gone into these crazy stories with him, but never been able to fully explore them because there hasn't been time.
Exactly.
So we're very excited to have the Hawaiian King of Resin.
Oh shit!
The new crown we shall give him. The man himself.
Yes.
Hot Actor. Let's bring him on. You ready? Here we go.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
How's everybody?
Good.
Yo, good. How are you?
Hot seat.
There we go.
I'm doing good.
Damn, you're hot.
Oh, thanks, man.
And I'm sure you have nice weather too.
You know what? We actually had a lightning storm last night. A crazy ass lightning storm that lasted for just straight lightning, never stopping for like 2 hours.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I put some of it in my story on Instagram. It just wouldn't stop. Every time I went outside to smoke, it was just the sky was lighting up. It was crazy.
That
crazy. Sounds awesome.
I always wish it lasts longer. Yeah, I hate it. It's like 10 minutes and it's done, isn't it? I like a nice hour storm.
Yeah, it was definitely a good view while chilling. You know, I kind of was mesmerized by it. I took the girlfriend outside and we stood in the rain and we just watched the sky light up. It was crazy.
That's very romantic.
She didn't like the wet. She was like, man, it's raining. I want to get out of here. I was like, no, check the sky out more. Look at this. She hated it.
Talking about weather, you recently had a show here in Martian and it snowed for you.
I willed it to snow. I literally went to Philly and I was like, you know what? I chose this month for the show because I want snow. And the snow came. And it snowed. You guys had a snowstorm.
Was that your first snow?
No, I went to I used to live in New York. So I used to live on 116th in Harlem, and I'm used to the dirty snow on the streets.
Yes. Yeah. East side or
I
west
also lived
side?
in Seattle. So yeah, not the first snow.
East side or west side of Harlem?
I was on the west side. I was right by Morningside Park.
Okay.
Right next to it, pretty much.
Well, then let's get started with where you grew up, where you were born. Let's go back. Let's go back in time.
Yeah.
Go all the way back.
This is like the Hot Actor. What do they call it? A biography?
Yeah.
Okay. I was born in San Diego. I don't remember it because I was a baby. And then my dad was a Marine, so we were stationed in Okinawa for 8 years. So I grew up in Okinawa. And that's kind of where I found my love for anime and art, was growing up in Okinawa. In fact, we didn't have American TV for the first 4 years. So we would watch, like Dragon Ball came out in 1984. And we would watch Dragon Ball, not understanding anything they were saying, didn't speak a lick of Japanese. But we would just go back to school and draw these characters. So that's kind of where the art thing started.
So because you were on the military base, you didn't have to learn Japanese?
So when we first lived in Okinawa, there was no room for us on the military base. We lived in Owasi Village. So we lived off base. Okay. And then when we finally got base housing, then I went to a Department of Defense school, which is basically like a private school for military kids.
Interesting.
So that was about
a similar
Sean
story.
Leonard does have
Sean Leonard, Tara's, Sean has a very similar story to this because he grew up in a very similar situation and spent a lot of time in Japan for the same reason.
It was cool. It was cool. I miss it. I love it. Like I've been trying to get a passport appointment to take a trip and just see how much Okinawa has changed, and just visit where I grew up. I mean, probably everywhere I knew is probably decimated. It's probably turned into a mall or something.
Yeah,
but it was really cool.
How was Daniel LaRusso? Is he all right?
He's good. He's good.
Is he good?
Yeah. It's funny you said Daniel LaRusso because Elusive Arts, he lives like 3 blocks from me, and God, he looks like Daniel LaRusso. He's even got a picture. He's got a picture of himself from a Halloween where he's got the Miyagi gi on with the bonsai tree on the back. And I'm going to swear, man, he's like a dead doppelganger for Ralph Macchio back in the day.
No way.
That's, I too look like someone from the 80s. I brought the mean Lou Albano.
Oh God!
Like if I just tape rubber bands to my face, it's on.
You might look like Ron Jeremy.
I know I do look more like Ron Jeremy. But,
Are you getting royalties from that Cyndi Lauper video from back in the day?
no, I have like the Hawaiian shirt and the rubber bands.
Nice. That's some old school. That's like WWF before it was WWE.
That's what I grew up on.
No, me too. Same thing. I was a huge WWF fan. I remember when they changed it to WWE, we were all like, "That's stupid."
Yeah,
Totally.
back when they were focused on wildlife.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they got sued or something from the World Wildlife Federation, and they lost. How does Vince McMahon lose that lawsuit?
Shocking.
Yeah.
Right? With all their money, shocking.
Right? I mean, Vince McMahon, that guy doesn't lose. Vince McMahon gets what he wants.
That's because he's paying all them lawsuits for fucking all them chicks on the plane and that. Like, he's so he's broke. He's broke.
He was spending all that money on steroids.
Yeah.
Like out of nowhere, Vince McMahon just got jacked like overnight.
Yeah.
Didn't he
So
start
who's your
wrestling?
favorite wrestler?
Who was my favorite wrestler?
No, didn't he wrestle?
Oh,
Did someone ask who my favorite wrestler was?
Go ahead. Yes. Who's your favorite wrestler?
Technically, I'm gonna say from back in the day, Shawn Michaels, because Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, he made anybody look good. Anybody, like he was such a technical guy in the ring, but attitude-wise, Stone Cold. I mean, come on, the whole Attitude Era, Stone Cold catching beers—that's just a talent unto itself.
We used to root for the British Bulldog.
Who's the British Bulldog?
He was a wrestler.
He was?
Yeah, sometimes he would team up with the Heart Federation.
Yeah.
I was out before all that stuff. I'm thinking like, the Macho Man and shit.
Macho Man Randy Savage. That's a good wrestler.
I feel like all of those guys' hearts exploded, though. British Bulldog, his heart probably exploded. Ultimate Warrior, his heart probably exploded.
Oh, definitely Ultimate Warrior.
Why?
Definitely.
Ultimate Warrior, fucking right? He literally like a whole full body aneurysm.
Lewis's favorite was the man.
Oh, Ted DiBiase.
Oh, DiBiase. DiBiase had some of the funniest moments in WWF. I remember one time he told a kid he would pay him $100 if he could dribble a basketball 15 times. And on the 14th time, Ted DiBiase just kicked the ball and he walked away. He was like, "You didn't get it. Sorry." He was a great heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. His sex tape was lackluster.
Well, it was. Yeah.
Wait, was it really a sex tape?
Sex tape.
It was a Hulk Hogan sex tape.
And then he had that reality TV show too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I missed all this. That's crazy.
Yeah, with his daughter. With his daughter. That's right. Not the sex tape, but the reality TV show. That'd be weird.
Other show.
Yeah, you really had to love Hulk Hogan to love his daughter. If you were dating his daughter,
He was.
You're like, I don't know.
Well, it's crazy because I remember on the show, his wife, they got divorced, and then his wife basically married a 20-year-old him.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
You never saw that show? I'm shocked.
No.
This was That's when like celebrity reality was all everywhere.
Yeah, it's like MTV,
VH1,
yeah,
fucking Rock of Love.
Yeah.
Go back and watch it.
All that shit. We used to live for that.
You're like, I have better things to do. Isn't it?
I don't think it held up.
Probably not.
For good cause.
So what happened after you grew up in Japan until you were 8? And then what happened?
Yeah. So we got stationed in Hawaii in 1990. And my dad, this is back in the Clinton era, so it was after the first Gulf War. And the president decided to cut back on the military. So my dad was like forced into retirement at the time. He had been in the Corps for like 32 years already. So he decided to just set up roots in Hawaii. And I spent from the age of 10 to 19 living here.
So that's really home.
Home is, yeah, definitely. Like my girlfriend, or I should say fiance, she's Hawaiian, you know, and it's 100% home, 100%. Like I said, I lived other places, but there's something about Hawaii. Although I will say this, Hawaii is pricing us out. We are looking at other places because it's getting too damn expensive here.
That's everywhere, man.
Everywhere, yeah.
So
the Big Island?
your fiance is Hawaiian, so she's allowed on all the islands.
You know, even still, you need an invitation to go Niihau. Niihau, you need a private invitation because that is privately owned, that island.
Okay.
Where is that on the chain?
God, I would say the top. So if you start at the bottom, kind of like where the Big Island is, make your way up to Oahu, past Oahu.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that island is privately owned.
So are you gonna stay on the chain, or you're really thinking about like coming back to mainland?
We're on Oahu right now, and we have had a couple serious talks about moving to possibly Seattle, possibly New York, possibly Philadelphia. But moving to New York, I mean, the price would be the same, you know, especially from what I've seen for food lately.
That's a lateral move. Stay in
Yeah,
Hawaii.
it would be the same situation.
Yeah.
Delaware.
Yeah.
Fucking Delaware.
It's
man.
really nice.
It sounds well shit.
I wouldn't mind living in like Maryland or Pennsylvania or someplace cold, because I living in Okinawa and Hawaii, I'm like a little kid when I'm around snow. Like I love seasons so much.
Yeah.
So I kind of miss
but
the seasons.
It gets old real fast. So now we're like,
It does.
we're like, yay, hoping for snow, but please let it melt the same day. Like one day of snow and then no snow is great. But when you have snow for like
6 months.
6 months and it's like
I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I can't stand the humidity here.
There's
Come over
nothing
here, then.
prettier than New England, man.
We got
New
some
England,
requests
it's
here.
nice.
Look.
Move to
What's
New
up, Lou?
York. We
Also
got another one
Maryland.
here. Oh,
Miranda says it that like really cool British way.
Maryland.
Maryland.
Yeah, I'll move to Maryland so I can make Maryland. I like that, Maryland. It sounds more beautiful. Maryland.
Yeah.
It's like
They
Disney.
have crabs in Maryland.
Oh yeah, they're like known for their crab cakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll drive to Maryland just for crabs.
Have you guys ever been to Hawaii?
No. I want to real bad.
What the fuck?
It's a
When you
really
coming?
soon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really want to go to Hawaii. It'd be
Let's do it.
awesome.
We have so many kids.
It's true.
That's true.
It's difficult.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. It's a lot of seats.
Yeah, a lot of plane tickets. A lot of
They've all got full asses.
So
No baby asses.
that's true. Let's talk about your name real quick because I know the story, but let's
Mhm.
tell the story. So why are you called Hot Actor?
Hot actor. I'm gonna preface, this is a lame story. Don't expect to be entertained. So I was an actor from the age of 19 to I want to say 30, 36 is when I quit.
So you
And
moved to
the hot act. What was that?
You moved to LA at some point. You moved to
Yeah,
LA.
I lived in LA for a little bit, and that's also why I lived in New York. I was working at the Living Theater Company on Clinton Street. I was doing shows up there. But no, the hot actor thing came because here in Hawaii, they have like these regional or national, whatever, statewide awards for actors. And one year they decided to have kind of like a little, I call it a gag category, but they wanted to fun it up. And they had the Hot Actor Award, and I was the first recipient of the Hot Actor Award. And the ironic thing was I got it for a role that I had gained 45 pounds for on purpose. I was playing, I was doing a Shakespeare play, and I was playing Anthony and Anthony Cleopatra, and the director said, "You're too young, you're too skinny." And I said, "Dude, I can play this. Like, let me audition, and if you like it, I will get fat. I will age myself." And I did it. So it was kind of ironic that I got the Hot Actor Award for that show.
So how did you gain 45 pounds? Did you eat a lot of donuts?
I ate a Whopper 3 times a day, every day for 3 months. That's what it took, was just eating Burger King. Every day before rehearsal, I would sit there and just eat a Whopper. And I'm not going to lie, I fucking loved it. It was dope. You know, before then, I just worked out religiously. I was doing 2-a-day workouts, and it was kind of a nice break. But it was hard to go back afterwards and get back in shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DangerBot says that he's been gaining 45 pounds on purpose his whole life.
I think a lot of us did during COVID. So.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Still trying to recover.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole like the whole hot actor thing as an artist, like it was weird. I was frustrated in the acting world. I got to this point where I was working with a lot of directors on stage that just had degrees, but they had no experience. And as a creative, as an artist, I felt stifled. So I went back to painting, which was my roots. You know, I did a lot of graffiti in high school and college. And like weirdly enough, because everybody was calling me hot actor around town, all the actors when I would see them, I just started signing my paintings as a joke.
And it stuck.
So that's how the name came about. It stuck.
And it stuck. So did you just do stage acting, or did you also do like movies and TV shows and stuff?
I had a reoccurring role on Hawaii Five-0, nothing big, but anytime they needed a paramedic, that spoke on screen, I was the guy. And weirdly enough, I had to re-audition for it, even though it was a reoccurring role. Every time they needed that character, I had to re-audition for it.
So we can go back and watch you then.
You can go back and watch. Yeah, I still get royalty checks from it. I don't even know what episodes, what season, but you could find it. I'm sure it's streaming somewhere.
5-0.
Yeah, aside from Hawaii 5-0, I was on Last Resort, which only lasted one season. That was filmed in Hawaii. A couple independent films, The Brig, that we filmed in New York. I think that just made there's like international movie streaming service called Mubi, M-U-B-I. I think they were just streaming it maybe a year ago. Yeah. But I have one of those IMDb pages, and it has all the movies and TV shows and stuff.
So we can all go back and check them out.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you got like the SAG card?
The what?
You got the SAG card? The Screen Actors
Guild
card?
Okay, so this is yeah, I do have a SAG card. I don't have it anymore. I stopped paying for it after I'm in SAG, but if I was to do another film now, I would owe probably like, I don't know, 7 years of dues.
Oh wow.
Right.
And they make you back there?
Oh yeah, they would definitely make me. In fact, they would take my check from me, and they would basically use that, and then whatever I owed afterwards, I'd have to pay it also to be in good standing to do the film.
Unions, man, unions.
100% unions. Yeah. They do offer a medical insurance plan, so that's something.
Oh, that's something. That's true. That's true.
You can always like in your back pocket.
You can always go back. So did you study at art school, or you studied at drama school?
I didn't. The acting was never part of the plan. In fact, when I was 19, I wanted to move to San Diego, where I was born, and be a comic book artist, because art consumed me in high school. And when I was 19, I was going to a community college for the first semester. A director saw me outside of like my geometry class or something, and he asked me if I would audition for a show. And I just thought, why not? Give it a try. And I went, and I was awful. The whole play was cast already, except for the lead character. It was Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh,
so
that's
yeah. So they had me sing the Sword of Damocles, and I couldn't sing. They asked me to audition because at the time I was really in really good shape, but I couldn't sing to save my life. And everyone at the audition was really nice. They're like, "Hey man, you look great. You're gonna get the part. The other guy that's auditioning against you, he ain't nothing." That dude stepped out the car, and he fucking looked like he belonged on Baywatch. And he was an opera singer. And I went, holy shit, this is not gonna go well. But I did it, and I sucked. And I remember telling the director, I was like, you know what? I heard you teach a class. I'd like to take your class. And he goes, well, there's really no point for you to do it, but yeah, go ahead. So I took his class, and then the first semester of his class, he was like, hey, there's a professional acting company that comes to town. They tour all over. I tell my students every year to go audition. Nobody's ever got in, but hey, you guys should go audition for experience. I went at 19. I did 2 monologues and a song for the audition. I remember I didn't have confidence in myself. I found out that they were looking for an intern. So on my audition form, I wrote intern. The artistic director, after the audition, he said, "Hey, you wrote intern. If I offer you a full company position job right now, would you take it? Would you leave school?" And I said, "Yeah." And he did. He filed the paperwork and I signed it, and I toured with them for 7 years all over.
Wow, that's amazing.
So yeah, so that was I was kind of learning on the job, because I really only took part of an acting class for 2 months.
Wow.
Amazing.
You must have been, just naturally talented, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Man, something. I don't know. I was definitely felt blessed. But the older actors in that company, oh man, they gave me a fucking hard time the first 2 years that I worked there. I was the rookie scrub. So it was evident. They put me in shape real quick.
Like, what happened? Did they haze you? Like, what happened?
I was the guy that would clean the toilets. I was the guy that would yell at if something happened on stage that wasn't supposed to, even if it was their fault. I was just the whipping boy. And then, like the guys outside of it, like the artistic directors and the directors, they see what's going on and they kind of see who they want to keep for the next. And those guys slowly got filtered out. And I just kept on getting invited every year to come back. So it was nice. And then eventually I was the senior. And I thought to myself, with the young kids that came in, I was like, do I want to abuse my kids the way I was? And I didn't. So I try to help those guys out as much as possible,
That's good to
That's
hear.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a modern mentality.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. A little bit of that hazing that they did to me, I mean, I know it's out of fashion nowadays, but it was good. It made me stronger. It made me want things more. It made me work harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Huh, I take back what I said. You should have hazed them.
Yeah, the new guys, I didn't care about them. So I was like, hey, how you doing? Here's a coffee. Yeah, go out and suck. Don't work hard.
Don't work anymore.
Yeah. You don't got to work hard in this business. Nah, just show up. Memorize your lines. That's it. Yeah.
So how did you find out about toys? When did you start
Designer
collecting
toys.
All right.
So I've always been a toy collector. Like, I have toys. I mean, like, I was an 80s child. So my parents both worked 2 jobs. Even though my dad was a Marine, he was a scuba instructor at nighttime. So he was always off teaching scuba after work. My mom, she was a cake decorator. She's very artistic. And then she also did, she worked at some, I guess, like a thrift store. Because I remember being a kid and walking in there and thinking things were free and always taking toys out with me. Yeah. Never thinking that I had to pay for them. But I always joke. I always say that toys were my parents growing up, because I was a latchkey kid. So a lot of the times was just me at home playing G.I. Joes, playing He-Mans, playing Ninja Turtles, playing Ghostbusters. And that was really the main form of my entertainment. So carry on to high school. I was like that secret toy nerd in high school. I didn't let nobody know this. But when Star Wars Power of the Force came out, I was riding my bike 1:30 in the morning to Walmart to catch the stalkers as they're stocking shelves to get the things that I wanted. And Walmart from us is probably a 45-minute bike ride.
Wow.
I was obsessed with collecting toys. And that carried on through college. I remember in college, I went back and when I started acting and I had money, I went back and started buying the stuff I had as a kid that I had sold. So the G.I. Joes, the Ghostbusters, all those different things, Transformers. And it's just something that never left me. I always collected. So when I found designer toys was the first thing to me where I was like, okay, this is me. This is the kind of art I love. This is everything I'm about. And it just blew my mind. And then I probably went into 16 grand of debt as a collector. I'm sure there's a lot of collectors in the box right now that know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And it was worth it.
Where did you find designer toys? What was the first thing that you saw?
Oh, man. I never got into pop figures, but I think somebody that I knew that also collected toys was showing me their pops, and they had some old Michael Lau figures and some Dunnies and a few other things that I just really old school. Pete Fowler. And I just was like, man, this is where did you get this? This is crazy. Like, I grew up in Japan and we didn't even have things like this when I was growing up. And he kind of turned me on to the designer toy scene. And I went through Instagram and I just started following every site that carried them. You know, I started buying blind boxes, and then I was obsessed. I was absolutely obsessed. Still am sometimes.
Yeah.
What year? I want to say, not that long ago. I want to say, oh man, let's say 2015 as a solid collector. Introduced to it earlier.
That's amazing that you started collecting in 2015 and now here we are and you're like one of the top names in our world. Like,
yeah, that blows my mind too. Like, you know, like you got CZ in the box, you know, someone that I'm such a fan of. And it's weird. I have that imposter syndrome a lot of times, you know, where I look at these guys and I go, I don't, am I supposed to be here? You know, that weird thing. I don't know if you ever get that, CZ.
Yeah, no, strange, very strange, very strange.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've done great. Do you know what I mean? You got to be grateful.
Thanks,
well, fucking well grateful as well. Do you know what I mean? For where we're at, you know. So.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a weird little scene, isn't it? It's when you fucking find it and it clicks, and then
it's
fucking mental, isn't it? Like
it's almost like you feel it in your DNA as a collector. Like if you're someone that loves toys and loves art, there's no better thing than fucking designer toy world. Yeah,
you found your little place in the world, isn't it? It's great. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's democratic. Like that's the thing I love about the designer toy world is, you know, it's a meritocracy. If you're good, you kind of rise right away. There's very little, you know, impediment. There's not a ton of gatekeepers.
Right.
There's not a whole fine art world. There's a whole social construct.
Mm-hmm.
You have to fight through and, you know,
just to be
deal with. We could get
it's definitely one of the few niches that I believe where real recognizes real, and it's game over fame, you know.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter if your history, because it's funny, because you know, a lot of niches are very similar. Like a lot of the acting world is very similar to me, to the designer toy world in certain aspects. And the one thing that I like more about the designer toy world is what you just said, Josh, is that game over fame. Like if you're good, if you show a passion, if people can see the realness, then you're gonna do great.
Yeah, you definitely got a chance. Yeah, in the fine art world, it's like you have to have been born into the right family to start with to fucking know the right people. It's just the whole lineage of bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Like you can't break into it. It's just you're not gonna be lucky like that. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. It's quite cool that if you are with
I mean, the other thing with the fine art world is that you have to be able to bullshit, right? A lot of it's like not even about how good you are as an artist. It's about how well you can place yourself in the context, which a lot of is just bullshit that you put up. So it's
well, fine art's about the society around you, really. That's the stepping stones to being in the tape, stuff like that. Like you know, it's a mad little world. But yeah. If we can be real and just make something and work really hard at it, it's cool that we can be seen. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep. And that's what drew me to it was, you know, I've always been a character artist, and it's like, man, there's nothing better for a character artist than the designer toy world. And especially by, you know, iron sharpens iron, being inspired by other artists and seeing, you know, what they create and the kind of characters that they come up with. I mean, it's a very character driven, you know, community, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
What I like about your work is that you didn't come to the toy world like, oh, I collect all this stuff and my work looks exactly like everybody else's. You came with your own concepts and your own characters, and that really put you aside to everybody else, I think.
I appreciate that. I remember once I got advice from, you know, I kind of missed something in the biography. My first job before I was an actor was I was a comic book artist for a very short stint. I got hired by an anime company here in Hawaii to do a comic book, and I had submitted art that was anime style. But once my foot was in the door and I was hired, I did what I do, which is the street graffiti art. and those kind of characters. And of course, I got fired. I got fired really quick. They were like, "This is not why we hired you. You showed us this, but now you're doing this." But what's it called? What I was gonna say is in that respect, like doing those kind of things, you know, being real to yourself and doing the kind of work you like. It's like in this community, it says a lot about the collectors that they just receive it. You know how well they receive it. They don't care. Like we were talking about the hoops you have to jump through in the other art worlds.
Yeah.
This
Yeah, if
community,
they like it, they'll buy it.
yeah,
There's
exactly.
not like-
I think
Yeah,
for me, like it's been amazing watching your progression because I started off working at Martian Toys before I moved on to Clutter, and watching like you go from like the shows that you're doing with Martian like 2019 to like what you're doing now in 2023, just like incrementally better. Like I think the first thing I saw from you was like a custom ukiyak or something, and then now it's
that was the first. That was the first.
Man, boom. Yeah, good, dude.
Yeah, I'm learning on the job, just like I did with acting. You know, the ukiyak you're talking about, that was my first custom ever. I had not planned on doing customs at all, but Trashberry, who was working at Martian at the time, he saw some of my canvas work and he was like, "Hey, you want to paint on a toy?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll give it a try." And it was fucking tough. It was not what I thought it was. I didn't know anything about priming figures correctly, sculpting, any of that shit. Didn't know any of it. So everything you've seen is just been progressing on the go, on the fly, you know?
Yeah, that's so saying that can be a difficult transition for a lot of artists to go from 2D to 3D because it's really quite difficult to translate your art onto somebody else's canvas like that.
Yeah, completely different medium, you know, when you get down to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the custom toys they're a skill within them, the designer toy.
Oh yeah.
Scene itself, the custom scene. And some people can do it, and some people just can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
100%.
And there's different types of customizing depending on the base form. And I think that it's tribal, and you can kind of wander in and not understand necessarily why you customize certain things a certain way and not customize other things another way. It's, you know, the difference between, you know, Chinese vinyl, Japanese vinyl, resin, knowing how to make something archival and make it your own.
What clear coats to use? Everyone goes through the like, I made this custom and now it's sticky forever. Like
you know,
using the wrong clear
why
coat.
you wouldn't necessarily do certain things with one format that you would do with another format.
Yeah. Sculpted on.
Yeah, I remember it was as a newbie in the journey when I started a couple of years ago, it was like exciting to learn about 2-part epoxy, you know, like, oh, I don't have to use this Sculpey crap. I can use this. And you're talking about clear coats. Yeah, like always talking to people and being like, "What clear coat do you use? Because that looks great. My clear coat looks like shit."
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, getting the supply list of tools. And it's funny because, like, you know, some people will be gatekeepers, and there's certain things I understand, you know, where they're like, "Oh, I won't tell you what my tools are." But some other things I'm like, just, you know, I just tell them. Like, people ask me, I go, "Yeah, use this clear coat. Yeah, use this. I like this."
Right.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're going to do the same work as you, you know, or anything like that.
Exactly.
Right.
But I was definitely appreciative to a few artists that gave me the tools they use. That definitely helped me out big time.
That's good to hear.
Or you can tell people when they're first starting the most expensive things to buy, so they just go out of business right away. You know who kind of did that to us? When Ryan Rutherford we were like, "What air compressor should we buy?"
Shout out Ryan.
Yeah, what's up, Ryan? I fucking love Ryan. Like the first one, we're like, "What air compressor should we buy?" And he literally was like, "You need this 10-gallon, like full like shop compressor." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the very first one that we bought. It had wheels, like we rolled it in. It was as tall as me. I was like, "Now what?"
Is that the one that you made me hook up my airbrush to? Is that one? You know, when I'm like, "Oh, I need to use the airbrush," and you're like, "Yeah, hook it up to this."
Yeah.
I'm fucking trying to spray this little thing. The canister's as tall as the ceiling.
Like all the paint in one go.
I'm pretty sure that we destroyed that first one because we didn't understand.
Anything.
Well, we don't understand about draining compressors.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucked up my first compressor not draining it either.
Yeah.
I think It does. You have to learn the lesson.
You're like, why is my resin coming out so shit? And then you're like, someday you're like, oh, there's down here, and you open it up, and
it's a little knob you turn.
Shit.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely we gave you the wrong compressor, CZ, but I don't think it was the OG that Ryan made us buy.
It popped all the gaskets on the airbrush. You know, the little grommet. It fucking popped them all.
Yeah. Oh, that was the part of the conversation last week that you missed, CZ, when we were Motley Miscreations was on, Reb, and we were talking about compressor pressures.
Oh yeah.
And like what people are when you start to get scared, like when you pressurize your tank, at what pressure would you go to before you're like, this is fucked up?
I've had a tank knob explode, like literally fly off like a bottle rocket. I was a little bit above the number 4 on the PSI, and I went to kind of crank the pressure relief regulator.
Yeah.
And as soon as I let it go, it just exploded and flew across the room. It was insane.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Was it a Harbor Freight special or something more?
It was a California Air Tools compressor.
A blue one? Oh, the compressor exploded.
Yeah, the blue one. I'm talking about the pot, actually. Sorry, the pot, the regulator on the pot.
It was a nice
just
pot.
Exploded. Was that?
It was a nice pot.
Yeah.
It was a nice pot. Yeah, and luckily that piece, I was able to find the exact regulator on Amazon for like $15. It was easy to fix.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Resin war stories.
Have you had any scary pressure pot moments, CZ? Do you pressurize your stuff?
No, I don't even use one though. I don't even use one. I'm setting up the studio properly. Obviously, I changed the house over the last couple of years. You know, a lot of stuff's happened there. Do you know what I mean? And I've always just cast like in the kitchen, like a fucking scummy little fucker. Do you know what I mean? But now I'm in a place now that I can actually build like a really nice studio. So, I've got a vacuum chamber for the silicone and stuff like that. But I like cast in a way that like bubbles are quite minimal. Do you know what I mean? Like I do like extra work to do other stuff, but it's just doing my head in. So I need to figure it out. Do you know what I mean?
But that's also part of being a really good artist that understands resin, or resin artist, knowing that when you're sculpting something, you're making something that's castable.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So, you know, it's when you start going down other rabbit holes, people be like, "Can you make this in resin?" Like,
right.
You got to know your limitations. You know what I mean? And the beauty of like, you know, making stuff on ZBrush and then, you know, having the skill to do that and then 3D printing the master, you can print it in the parts you want, knowing how you're going to cast it. Do you know what I mean? So you're not just putting all in one with 5 million fingers out here and a fucking arm. Do you know what I mean?
That would be like 5 million vents.
You know, yeah, cool, man. So you can make it how you want to make it simplified to mold if you want. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, that's a whole different story. Do you know what I mean? So,
Carolina Coolcat, who is going to be on later for Toy Tank, he said he got rid of his regulators on both of his pots because he never saw the need for them, which I'm going to quiz him about later because that's terrifying, by the way.
So you don't know what pressure you're at.
He's just like, let's just take a risk.
That's awesome.
All right.
Go for it.
So
he just counts.
He just counts.
He's
terrifying.
like, I count to 10.
He's hardcore.
He's like, yeah, it's pressurized. It's good.
Yeah.
Like,
seems safe.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So tell us about your first figure, how you came up with it, where it came from, how you made it. Like, tell us the whole process of where your first ever figure came from.
First resin figure? First custom figure?
First original figure.
First original figure.
First original figure. Not customized, right? So like resin. Well, I had already a lot of times when I do customs, like there's a character I did for one of your shows, Fuck a Duck.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I do customs, I'll go back later and I'll kind of tweak them a little bit. And then now that I'm doing resin, I'll redo them in resin form. But the first like Raw Man, you know, I just drew them out. I did full turnarounds. I don't do 3D. I just started learning Nomad. The girlfriend, she uses ZBrush. she's better than me.
The
But
fiance. Trouble.
yeah, the fiance. I keep forgetting that word. But I just started on Nomad. It's gonna be a while. It's probably gonna be like a year before I sculpt my own. So I draw full turnarounds, each side, and then I send them to my buddy Deadhead Jed, who's an artist, and he does amazing 3D. So he'll 3D them for me. And I'll pay him a 50% down, 50% afterwards. Get them back, and then Elusive Arts, he does all of my prints, only because he never paid me for one of the decons that we sold together.
Okay.
So he owes you.
Like he owed me money. Yeah. So like 6 months went by, and 7 Sketches called me, and he's like, "Hey, did Elusive Arts ever pay you from the blind box series we did?" And I was like, "Oh shit, I totally forgot about it." No. So I called up Elusive, and I was like, "Hey, here's the deal. Derek needs to get paid, but if you're kind of running short on money, do me a favor. Just do all my prints for me, since I have no room for a printer right now." And he's like, "For real?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll send you. I'll even pay for the resin to print them in, so I can have something to cast."
Yeah.
But that's kind of the process. Is like, Jed sculpts them after I'm done drawing them. Connie prints them for me. Connie, I always have to bug him for like 3 weeks. Go, "Dude, did you print it yet?" He's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry. I had this thing." I'm like, "Fuck. I could have bought 3 printers with the money you owed me. Print this shit." So then he prints it. Yeah, I take it home, sand it, get it ready to be molded, and that's kind of the process for me. Does that answer the question? I don't know if I answered the question right.
Yeah, but where did the raw man come from? Like, what is he something that you've been kind of drawing for a while, or it was like a new idea?
So that I mentioned when I was like 19, I got hired by an anime company to do comic books. Yeah. Raw Man, in fact, I should have grabbed them. I have the original comic, like the actual, comic book pages are like this big back in the day, before they shrink them down and print them and stuff. Anyways, I have the original blue line work comic book pages. I was at a fair here in Hawaii. I was starving. I wanted ramen so bad. Came home. I was joking around with a couple of my buddies about this character it was a play on the name, Raw Man instead of Ramen. And that's just kind of how it started. So it was actually a comic strip of him that got me hired for that anime company. And then, like I said, I changed my style on them, and they were like, "Whoa, not what we wanted." Yeah. So he just kind of sat for years. And then I brought him back for just a single. He wasn't supposed to be the guy. I think I was talking about this before. My main guy that I used to graffiti was Puck and Rizzo. But I did a drawing of Raw Man, and on Instagram, he just kind of hit. And that's what everybody wanted. So Trashberry, same dude I was working with for Martian for custom shows, he was like, "Dude, we got a food show. Do a Raw Man custom." And I took the Ravager from Quicks, and I did a full body, and I sculpted legs and shoes and did the Raw Man head. And very thankful that Gary from the Toy Chronicle wrote an article about it. He really liked that custom, I think. And that's kind of where the character started. But I had no backstory really for the character. There was nothing about his world, anything. It just started off as a play on the name. So
yeah.
I think it's a relatable character, though. Everybody can relate to like the food aspect, so it resonates with a lot of people.
Yeah, the hidden accident that was really nice for me was the fact that he's a vessel. You take away the ramen, and it's an empty vessel, and there's room to collab with other artist characters to do other types of food and whatnot. And it's kind of what gave him legs, I think.
Absolutely.
Why is there not a Cambot one in there?
A Cambot in his head?
There needs to be a Cambot one, right? That'd be fun.
Oh, that'd be sick. That'd be sick.
Spray paint inside and that'd be funny, man.
Yeah, that'd be badass.
Yeah.
Did you like a backstroke?
Did I see that you were retiring the small ones, the 4-ounce ones?
Oh yeah, this version. I didn't stand his feet, but this version just got retired. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Yeah.
So this version just got vaulted. Should I sneak preview the new version? You guys want that?
Yeah.
Should I show that?
Let's make
all right.
news.
So this is the version I've been doing for a year now. In fact, I think today no joke, is my 1-year anniversary resin casting.
Oh wow.
Crazy.
So that's the old version, and then this is 2023.
That's awesome.
Dope.
Love
So
it.
he's bigger, he's more detailed. It's kind of like he grew up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's bigger and more badass.
No, I love
Bigger,
the
more
detail.
badass, more detailed.
Got way more of an expression. Nice.
hmm
Nice.
Rad.
So this
Is
guy's
that-
going to premiere at the Kauai Con here in Hawaii.
Nice. When is that?
Kauai Con is next week Friday. Next week
wow.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
You better get making those then, real quick.
Yeah, I'm a little behind.
So tell us how you first started resin casting. If it's been a year, let's talk about that. How did you find your legs resin casting?
I remember being at Decon, not this year, but the year before was my first Decon, and just walking around. Like I'd already collected some resins, especially like Fifth Turtle and a few other, Task One and a couple other pieces from people. But walking around Decon, the light bulb for me finally clicked where I went, you know what? You have all these characters that you just have dreamed of making. This is a way for you as an independent artist to make them,
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do as far as resin casting. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know about pressure pots. I didn't know about alcohol inks, anything. Zero. Just knew that they were beautiful. And Elusive Arts, who I was teasing just 5 minutes ago,
Yeah.
he kind of figured this stuff out on his own. We had met a year prior. He came out when Quicks came to visit in Hawaii. I took them on the submarine that I drive for my day job. So they came out on the submarine, and then I didn't see Elusive for a year.
You tried
Yeah.
to
That's my normal. Yeah, I would say 9 to 5, but it's 12 hours a day. So my 6 to 6 job is a submarine pilot. I drive a 110-foot long tourist submersible. Yeah. I have a full Coast Guard pilot license. I have a 100-ton captain's license, and that's what I've been doing for 13 years.
It's like the tourist ones, right? That you can go in. Is that the kind of?
Yeah, it's picture. You ever been on the Disneyland Finding Nemo sub?
No.
No, but I did go on a submarine in the Caribbean. I like
Okay,
a
well,
tourist.
Yeah, I was gonna say this one's a lot bigger. You can actually stand up and walk in it. The viewports are really large. They're massive. But this submarine is certified to go down to 850 feet.
Whoa.
Shit.
That's what the maximum crush depth is. Yeah.
How many people can fit on this sub?
64 people.
This is like, so it's no joke. Piece
It's
big.
Yeah.
Because the first
Yeah,
time you
it's
told me that you had a submarine, I kind of pictured you in like a little 3-man.
Like bubble.
A little
Yeah.
tight one, right? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no,
What's the crazy-
I'm in charge of 64 lives every hour that I'm working out there. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh my god. Dude, that's so wait, so I just gotta know what's the craziest shit you've ever seen in the submarine?
Yeah.
Underwater?
Yeah.
Underwater? You're gonna think I'm joking, but we almost had a fucking whale shark hump us. No joke. I'm fucking driving a tour, and out of nowhere, this fucking whale shark comes in front of my sub, and I was like, oh, he looks kind of angry. So I had to pump the brakes. I had to reverse the thrusters, come all stop. The whale shark is in front of us, and it just hung out there for like 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, all of a sudden it swam to the side and laid its body partially on us. And I was like, oh my God, does he think like, is he going to do us right now? So then after that, the whale shark swam all around us. It probably figured out that we weren't, something it could hump. And then it swam off and it was gone. That was probably the craziest thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh,
That's
mental.
amazing. That's fucking
So-
better than I could ever hope for.
That's crazy. This thing sounds so dangerous. This vehicle sounds so dangerous.
I'm gonna say it is and it isn't. It is and it isn't. This operation's been going on for 30 years, and they've never had an accident with the submarine. Knock on wood. I know there's always a first, but there's so many redundancies and secondary measures that were built into the submarine that it makes it really freaking hard for anything to go wrong. In fact, the number one redundancy is if we're electrically powered, we're battery operated. If all the fucking power died, if it just shut down, the submarine on its own is designed positively buoyant. It would just start floating up to the surface on its own. So
Right. How far
I
from
would say the
shore
most dangerous thing I encounter as a pilot is making sure that I'm at a proper depth, that I'm not going to hit a boat above me.
Right.
Right.
That's
Right.
the number one. Yeah, that's probably the biggest one.
What about
So
a
like
reef?
in planes, there's the Mile High Club. Is there like the mile?
There's a 100-foot club for us. Yeah. So for us, they call it the 100-foot club. Am I a member?
You can take it down on your own, so that's
Yeah. My fiance, she actually works with me there, and nobody from work's gonna watch this. But believe it or not, we have not joined the club.
Okay.
So I think we have some stuff to do.
That's mental. Brilliant.
Yeah, I think we got to get busy on that while she's still working there.
Is it big enough that somebody could walk on your ship and you wouldn't know? I'm calling it a ship.
Oh yeah. Like if I did a private tour, because we've had people. We had I thought they were gonna film a porn once, and I hope this doesn't. Like literally, somebody booked the submarine and the 6 guests. So they booked a 64-passenger submersible. The 6 guests that came out there definitely seemed like they were porn stars.
Yes.
And they had cameras with them and stuff, but I don't know. I wasn't driving that tour. I was the surface officer. So to this day, I don't know what they did. No clue.
When you're in the driver's seat, is it like a cockpit where it's closed and no one can get to you?
There's a cockpit, but it's definitely open behind me. I could turn and I could look down the submarine because everyone sits back to back straight down it. Windows on both sides. So if it was a private tour, yeah, people could honestly get busy and I wouldn't know, but there's 2 other crew members on board that would see everything.
Right.
Yeah.
The co-pilot the co-pilot sees everybody on board and the attendant up front sees everybody.
Is there no bathroom on a submarine?
There's no bathroom. We've had guests take shits in barf bags. We call them code browns. We've opened our machinery space in the back where we have an AC bucket because there's condensation water from the AC, and we've let them use that as a toilet during a dive. We've had people panic because
it's like an hour maybe. How long?
It's an hour. It's an hour long. We have restrooms on the passenger vessel, but there's always somebody that forgets to use it.
Well,
just hold the ship for an hour. Come on, these people. My God.
Yeah, I think I've only done an emergency ascent once because this guest was so earnest and like crying that they were gonna shit their pants that I called the surface officer. I was like, hey, we got a code brown. I need to fucking get this sub out of the water. And he's like, what's your location? I was like, dude, I'll send you a fucking marker bubble right now. So I send him a marker bubble. He's like, I copy your location. You clear the surface. We come up. I open the hatch and I tell the guest, I go, come upstairs with me. He goes on the deck and I go, this is your only option is to hold this rail, hang your ass over the side and take a shit. And he's like, no fucking way. I go, dude, there's no boats around. Sorry, that's the only option.
Right.
And did he do it?
So that's how. Yeah. I mean, like, you feel bad for them, you know?
But then
Is there like signs up? Is there signs saying you can't have a shit for an hour?
Oh, dude, we tell it over the microphone.
Like, I'll be like, I need a diabetic piss like halfway through, like a fucking
Bro, the worst is us pilots, because like we tell the guest so they have like a second boat ride out to the dive site, right? The submarines are like a mile offshore. So they take a passenger boat out, and every 2 minutes, somebody's on the microphone saying, hey, guests, you're going to be underwater, surrounded by thousands of gallons of water. So do your business now, because there's no bathroom on the sub. And it's just human nature, you know? It happens when it happens. You're fucked.
No, you can't.
Oh my God. So hang on. I have a question. So the guy takes a shit over the submarine.
That's what I wanted. Yes.
And there's people in
That's
the submarine.
exactly what I was saying.
So you'll see brown water going down, whoever's at those viewports. That was their view. I remember one guest said something like, "Man, whatever that guy ate, he's gonna die in 2 weeks."
Oh my God.
But it's just reality. I mean, the worst is for us. So like us pilots, you know, we're driving like 2 tours in a row, and then we get a break because they understand our bladders. But once in a while, you know, even you as a pilot, you're like, "Fuck, this came out of nowhere. What am I gonna do?"
Right.
And I'll say one horror story. This has never happened to me, but there was a pilot in the past who got demoted because he parked the submarine 135 feet underwater, got up, walked all the way through the guests to the machinery space, and did his business during a dive.
Right.
Oh my God.
And got demoted for that.
Got demoted for that. He's never been a pilot since. He still works for us. He's probably the highest paid co-pilot. But 20 years later, he's still not a pilot because of that.
When you shit in the machinery space, the whole sub stinks.
Oh my God, Josh, holy shit. Yeah, we're telling the co-pilots to spray into the fucking CO2 filters and stuff like that, the air conditioning compressor, so that we can get something that covers that smell. Yeah. It's just like if somebody farts, for some reason, guests wait till the hatches are closed and then they just start the fart fest. And I don't get it, man.
Oh my God.
I don't get it.
Right?
Yeah, we have scrubbers in the sub, but it takes a little bit for that air to get scrubbed.
God.
I thought you
Wow.
meant like actual scrubbers, like
No, like physical. Scrub this fart away.
yeah.
Wow.
No, because like an airplane, you're breathing recycled air when you're in there. So the minute it goes through that system, it gets circulated through the whole fucking vessel. But I'll be honest, these things I'm talking about are very rare. They don't happen a lot. So
shitting is rare.
Shitting is rare. Like I haven't had a shitting incident with a guest in probably 5 years. So
You're right,
yeah, which I'm thankful for.
Fucking Monday, dude.
I know. It's coming. It's
I mean,
around.
we've had guests vomit on each other because they don't grab a bag from above their head. We provide barf bags. And usually on the surface, it's rocky, but once they go underwater, it's smooth. But some of them can't wait till it gets underwater and they just hurl. So, yeah, we tell them the barf bags are like a parachute. They only work if they're open. So please open the bag.
Open the bag.
Yeah.
Do you call that a code rainbow?
Call it a code asshole. They're like, yeah, that motherfucker couldn't open a bag. Holy shit!
Oh my, if that happened to me, I was on a submarine and someone started vomiting, like, and then everybody would start vomiting because if you smell it and you see it, like,
that's happened too. Yeah, like what was that movie, Stand By Me?
Yeah.
It's not quite that level, but it's come close at times.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like the true stories of a submarine pilot.
You should start a podcast, just the true stories of the submarine pilot.
I know, right? I'm hoping nobody from my workplace is watching this.
Oh my God, the comments for this whole section have just been, the best.
Awesome.
I'm just living.
They're like, stop sharing our private info.
Yeah, you'll be straight in the office Monday morning. They'll be like, all right.
Yeah, for real, right? My boss can be like, yo, come in here.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so here's your walking papers. No, but even us, like, so when we're not in the submarine, we have a tugboat that we use to bring the submarine out to the dive site. Because the submarine's got to travel like, I don't know, I want to say 5-6 miles. And the submarines only move 1 mile per hour. They're very slow. They're extremely slow. So we take our lunch on a tugboat. And even for us, the crew that's offshore, there's no bathroom on the tugboat. We have a bucket on a string that we dunk in the water. And that's our toilet. Yeah, so this job's not for everybody. There's definitely a lot of people that get hired and they quit 2 days later.
For shitting in a bucket. No,
for shitting in the bucket. I like the bucket. I'm like, man, this bucket's kind of nice. It's nicer than the toilet. It's comfortable.
And you all have to share the bucket? It's like a shared shit bucket.
Guys, I feel gross now that you said that, but yes, it's a shit. I feel fucking dirty now. Thanks, Miranda.
Oh man.
Oh, you had to go there. Yes, it's a shared shit bucket.
Shit
Oh,
bucket.
dude, the
like
alliteration.
in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
usually so we used to have we used to be a 2 submarine operation, and we would have another tugboat just inshore of us anchored. So I used to drive our fast boat, our skiff, to that private tugboat, and that was kind of like the private restroom where you would dunk the bucket, whatever. And that's where I would just like chill. I would find like go on the phone for 20 minutes. But we're a 1 submarine operation now after COVID, so
Yeah.
there's no more privacy.
No.
Oh man.
No.
Yo, you should do a shit bucket raw, man.
Just put a big
Yeah.
picture right there.
Just fucking
Little string on it.
Yeah. Maybe, I mean,
The exclusive submarine version.
From toys to
You
shit
could
and
sell them on the
toys.
submarine. Like.
Look at it. Toys to shit and
Yeah.
back.
Start driving, right? You start driving down, and then you stop it, and then fucking sell your wares. Like, yo, I've got my fucking shit bucket raw, man. If you want to buy any, like, and then take them up.
You go back.
I think all the crew would have one. I think they would represent on that. But it's like for me, I'm a guy. I can only imagine the girls that work with us. Like my girl, my fiance, she waits for the passenger boat to come out, and then she leaves her position. She says, "Hey, can somebody cover me?" And they all use the private restrooms on that boat. But
That
like,
makes
I can only imagine when you're on your lunch break, and you know, I mean, let's be honest, nature comes out of nowhere. Like,
yeah, but I don't know, because I've only had the experience of talking to guys about this. I've never had a girl say like, "Oh my god, I need to take a shit and I have to do it right there and then." That's a really male thing, I think.
it must be because like I was painting with Vincent Peake in Philadelphia. We went to Graffiti Pier, and we were throwing up some characters, and I was the asshole who was like, "Fuck, I gotta take a shit in the middle of spraying." And I walked around Graffiti Pier trying to find the best spot, and I was like, "Fuck, it's too late." And I went over to this area, and I grabbed a fucking 7-Eleven brown bag from the trash can that was on top. And everyone there was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "You guys never had to take a shit while you're painting?" I'm like, "I can't walk a mile to a restroom." But maybe it was my job's influence on me where I was like, fuck it.
And shitting in a bag really teaches you something about toilets.
Josh, I didn't even shit in the bag. I used the bag to wipe my ass, bro. That's what the bag was for. The bag was to wipe my fucking ass because I was like, it's either the bag or it's the underwear. And I kind of like this underwear that I'm rocking today.
Yo, there's nothing around Graffiti Pier either. You are fucking out there. Yo, I know what you mean. Like, there's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go. We were all the way at the very end, bro. We were all the way at the very end on like the left side of Graffiti Pier. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's nothing.
It's like who you gonna find when you're wandering around out there. That's more of like the question. Like you're doing your business, and then like, yo, who's gonna stumble upon you out there? Like that's the scarier part.
And really enough, like when I was doing my second piece, the second day that we went to Graffiti Pier, like out of nowhere, some tourists walked up and they're like, "Hey," and they're taking pictures. And I was like, "Oh, thank God you guys weren't here yesterday. That would have been fucking awkward."
Dirty Deeds.
podcast.
I'm not allowed to say where I shit.
He said, "What's the weirdest place you've all had to shit?" Let's get real deep into this. Let me just preface this by saying girls don't do this type of stuff.
How do you
Like,
know?
Of course not.
That's like maybe like once in a blue moon, like in a desperate situation.
You're not hanging out with the right girl.
No, I do.
Okay, so maybe girls won't shit anywhere like guys will, but girls will fucking piss anywhere. Because I've come out the club back in the day where girls just squat in the parking lot and they just piss.
100%. We'll be fucking anywhere, but we're not going to shit in a shared bucket. Let me tell you, it's not going to happen.
Oh man.
So, what's the weirdest place you've ever shit, Money Tanaka?
Yeah, Alex.
Come on, Alex.
I don't know.
Regale us, Alex.
I don't know. I feel like it's just been some like just dirty truck stops. I remember this one time I ate a bad Denny's and fucking like you know, I felt it in my stomach. I stopped as soon as I could at a truck stop, and fucking, I ended up like using this dirty bathroom, but then vomiting into my underwear, and then like,
Holy shit!
What the fuck, like? Wow.
Wait, were you were shitting and vomiting at the same time?
Yeah, vomiting between my legs, shitting out my ass, and fucking all this whole fucking situation. Then I had to fucking like figure out how I'm gonna fucking pull up my pants and drive home. You know, it was a horrible situation.
I would have just started living there. Like, fuck this, I'll just stay.
Oh my god. Yeah, so that happened. Anyways, next.
Anyway, next. So I did shit in a bag in an office because I think like I couldn't. It was a really dark. It was like 3 a.m. and I couldn't find the lights down this hallway to get to the bathroom. And I was like, fuck. And this is before cell phones and like flash. And I was like, I am not walking down this pitch black hallway in the middle of the night to a pitch black, like, you know, whatever. So this is what I was saying a second ago. It really taught me the value of the water in the toilet. Because when you shit into a bag, it's just like, holy fuck. The stench is just incredible. Yeah. So, and then I think I threw the bag down the hallway. Or something. I don't know. I threw it.
You're like, this is somebody else's problem now.
It's gonna come up. Eventually, the sun was gonna come up,
and somebody would find it.
Well, I didn't. I mean, I left. I don't know. I must have thrown it away at some point, but that was weird.
Wow. See,
not. I didn't vomit at the same time.
Mine are all party related, really. So, like in the UK back in the 90s, there was a hell of a lot of free parties. And like where I live, we got loads of countryside, so there'd be mad fucking free parties down in fields and forests and shit. So yeah, there'd be regular, you know, like if you're having a bit of a cocaine binge, you need a shit straight away anyway. You know what I mean?
There you go.
You fucking like you're in the forest having a shit with leaves, and then the other thing, Glastonbury toilets, man, fuck that. Like, yeah, they were nasty. Like back in the day, Glastonbury toilets. So yeah, just in a field. You know? But yeah, nothing. I haven't been like caught short mad or anything like that. I'm quite particular. Like that's one of my worst fears is like being caught short out like a need of shit. Do you know what I mean? I don't even like using public toilets. You know what I mean?
I'm the same. I hate public toilets.
Yeah, I hate them, I've got to be settled before I go out. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, they're disgusting. It's like Miranda was talking about the bucket. You know, the bucket, only 5 of us crew members use it at the most. But the public restroom on the boat, like 1,000 people a day use that. You know what I mean?
True. But the difference is one has running water that gets rid of stuff, and one is a bucket.
One's a bucket that goes in the ocean.
Goes in the ocean. It's true.
I just want to address Kyle's comment to me.
You shit in a bag because you're scared of the dark. Yes, Kyle, you're right.
In that instance, yes. And for the record, I have 2 much more aggressively horrific shit stories, which I'm not going to tell.
See, I'm refraining too. I'm also refraining.
I'm like, you know, privately.
We have to sit here for another few hours to get these stories out.
Privately, I'm happy to tell some much more aggressive stories.
Because after dark, it is dark now, but it's not dark in Hawaii. I know Alex has got some too.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Hard life, guys.
No, that was a good story.
Yeah.
I don't know how to bring.
I don't know where to go from here. I feel good.
Yeah.
Right, so tell me the toy story.
Tell us about your life.
I think it's time for Toy Tank.
Well, when the last time we talked to Hot Actor, we talked to you, and there was some story about a fight at school. Am I right? Or am I?
Oh, you're talking about when I got stabbed in high school?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was freshman year. We were breakdancing in my friend's garage, and this guy that was in the garage with a bunch of us, he was playing with the dog's dick. And I thought it was the weirdest fucking thing I ever saw. I was like, why is this guy jerking off my neighbor's dog? It's just fucking weird.
This with 2 fingers or with a whole hand?
2 fingers. 2 fingers, and he was doing this to the dog.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is going on? So anyways,
Yeah.
like he went to a different school. And I had a buddy that went to his high school. And I told my buddy, I said, yo, you know this guy? I'll actually say his name, Wayne Soupnet. And he was like, yeah, I know Wayne. He's in my chemistry class. And I was like, yo, this motherfucker was jerking off a dog while we were breakdancing the other day. Like, he was like, what? I was like, yeah, he just started jerking the dog off for like 5 minutes. It wasn't even like he did it twice and looked at us and laughed. He was just doing this thing. So my buddy Marlo, who I told the story to, he told the whole fucking school. He told the whole school. A week later, I go back to my buddy's house to break dance. We got the cardboard on the ground. And that dude showed up. He brought a knife. He had a steak knife in his pocket.
Wayne
and
brought it.
he brought a knife because of what happened, because everybody in his school was calling him a dog masturbator.
The dog
Yeah.
masturbator.
Yeah, so he brought a knife. We got into an altercation. He pulled the knife out. He went for my face. I put my hand up just instinctively, and he severed all the nerves and tendons in my fingers. He slashed right through them. Luckily, it just was a steak knife and not something sharper. So it went through him. Blood went everywhere. I remember grabbing a bicycle in the garage and holding it by the bike frame to have like a barrier between me and him while he had the knife. And then he looked shocked. Like he held the knife, like, and he saw the blood and it like hit his brain like, oh, fuck, what did I do? Yeah. But he wasn't leaving. He just stood there holding the knife. So everyone's yelling at him, telling him, get the fuck out, leave, leave, leave. Finally, he started to walk out, but he picked up a baseball bat. So he had a knife and a baseball bat now. And I'm just standing there with a fucking bicycle that I'm holding with my left hand, my good hand. And eventually he walked out backwards and left. So I went to my house. I had blood just dripping down. My mom is really like an old school 1950s. Should have been my dad. She saw all the blood and I go, Mom, I need to go to the doctor. She goes, what happened? I said, I got someone tried to stab me. She goes, well, what do you want me to do about it? And I went, you want to take me to the ER? And she's like, not really. That was my mom's response. Honest to God. My dad just got home and he was like, oh shit, what is all this blood? He ran over, he wrapped a paper like a paper towel around it, then he grabbed a towel, took me to the military hospital, and yeah, that was that.
Wow.
And what happened to Wayne?
So Wayne, so we had to go to court a year later because it was a weapon, it was considered a federal offense, and we did have to go to court. My lawyer absolutely fucking sucked. His lawyer was fantastic. His lawyer was like, hey, your client is a lot bigger than mine. He felt threatened, this, and this. We were like 15 years old at the time. And like kids grow rapidly in a year. It took a whole year before we went to court. At the time of the fight, that dude was like 5 inches taller than me. But by the time of court, I was 2 inches taller than him. So he used all these different defense strategies, and bottom line is nothing happened. Nothing whatsoever. Yeah. In fact, one of his friends testified that I had beat on his head with my fist for 3 minutes straight. That's a fucking boxing match.
That's a long time.
I had already admitted in court. I said, yeah, he never landed a punch on me. He tried, but he never landed one. I completely opened myself up for assault. And my lawyer didn't say nothing. Like 3 minutes? Really? Like, how could you stand up and pick up a knife after that?
Right.
So, like, none of the truth got out. It was like sitting in the principal's office in high school when you get into a fight and the person across from you just lies out their teeth and there's nothing you can do because it's your word versus their word.
Yeah. That sucks.
That's pretty much how. So I had my hand in this weird thing for like 2 years while the tendons and nerves were repairing. And I didn't do any drawing during that time, no art. So once I finally got that thing off my hand, you know, I went back to draw, but it wasn't the same. It took me a while to kind of like get my line work back down and everything.
Yeah.
So you have feeling in the hand, it repaired.
Yeah, it doesn't like that one. The first finger doesn't close all the way, but it's the same. I've got scars all over it from the knife and surgeries and stuff.
Right.
But
Wow.
I don't really think about it nowadays. You know, I've had it for so long.
Right. That's crazy. And can we just go back to talking about your mom? What was the justification really like did she ever say to you like, hey, I should have taken you to the hospital? Like, oh, it's a good thing your dad.
No, my mom, she's unusual, bro. She grew up in East LA. She's Mexican, Italian. She was the oldest of 13, so she took care of all her siblings. Her mom was just like not really in the picture. Her dad was absolutely not in the picture. And she's just kind of a hardcore woman. Like when I was a little kid, this is serious. Wow, we got serious. She would never say I love you. Like she could never just say I love you. She would say I love you, but I don't like you. Like when I was 4 or 5 years old, 6 years old. Like she's just a strange woman. Yeah.
Gnarly for a little kid.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah. Scarred me for life, bro. I remember having a talk with her like 4 years ago where I was like, why would you do that? But that was her. Whereas my dad, even though he was this hardcore Marine, he was a drill sergeant when we lived, you know, in Okinawa. He retired first sergeant. He's the most coolest fucking dude. Just gentle, cool, kind, you know, supportive, amazing, like complete opposites. I don't know why he married her.
Shining a light on the difference between men and women here.
It's weird because usually, you know, the female parent is the maternal one. But with me growing up, it was my dad that was the protector, the caretaker, the nurturer, you know. Like I was a fat kid when I was young. In the 5th grade, I was like 150 pounds. And my mom would always be like, hey, fat boy, come here. And my dad would be the one who's like, whoa, he's husky. He's not fat. You know what I mean?
That's what they called me too.
That sounds like years of therapy.
Jeez.
Yeah, she's a pill, man. She's a pill. But then she also has a very generous side. Not to paint her just in a negative.
Sure.
But yeah, she's an unusual person. That's all I can say.
That's a seriously strange reaction.
Oh yeah.
To having your son's fingers like half chopped off. Like
that's true.
That's her. That's her. She's very is the word apathetic. Like she doesn't care about anybody's problems in life unless it's hers. And she'll talk your ear off for 5 hours about her ailments and what she's going through, but she won't let you get 2 words out.
That's just crazy, man.
Yeah.
Well, you survived. You have your fingers, like.
And that guy's still jerking off dogs. So.
Oh my God. Yeah, where is Wayne today?
He's jerking off dogs and horses.
Oh my God.
He's outside with a fucking knife, like. He's still stalking.
I thought I ran into him at a bowling alley once, and like all those emotions surged where I was like, I'm gonna knock this guy the fuck out. And then I kept on looking at him going, is it him? I can't figure out if it's him or not.
Yeah.
It's been like 15 years.
You can be like, I'm, Jake. I'm not Wayne. I'm like,
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, got to keep it under wraps. Not everybody. Wow, that's a gnarly fucking story.
I remembered it was crazy. I just couldn't remember the specifics of it.
I knew that I wanted to talk about submarines. I completely forgot about like a fight story.
Well, because it's always in these little like chopped up lives that were like.
Yeah, that's right, on network. Yeah.
And it's in the middle of like talking to 12 people, so you forget who you talk to who about what.
Yeah, this time it got serious. This time it went family. I was like, whoa, got deep.
Well, we can keep going.
We can keep going. We can get real.
So what's next for you? What's happening this year? You going to 5 points on that?
I'm definitely gonna go to 5 points. I think I'm gonna be I'm gonna go with 7 sketches, be part of his booth. Yeah, but 100%. I think 5 points is gonna be the biggest show this year, because let's be honest, like DCon right now has the most horrible date, December 18th.
It's not a good date this year.
It's not a good date. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that can't take off for work. They have blackouts during Christmas time. Family.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah,
and ToyCon also. Both us and ToyCon are picking up people because of that. I noticed that ToyCon's lineup this year is like pretty good. So that's awesome. And,
Yeah, I got invited to ToyCon PH right after 5 Points, but
nice.
I'm still working on a passport. So it's been tough.
Yeah.
I finally got an appointment, but it's not till next month.
It's difficult. Me too. I just became a citizen in the pandemic, so now I have to get an American passport, and it's just like,
Yeah, they make you jump through so many hoops. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Over here, it's just all the appointments. There's like 12 passport locations, and all 12 of them are booked for the next 2.5 months. And you have to wait each day for the next day to open to try to get an appointment. It's crazy.
It was similar here. Do you remember last time my passport expired? My British passport expired, and I was here. And I had to go to the British Embassy, and they gave me like a temporary passport.
The British Embassy in New York City is the most ridiculous embassy, because some embassies in are like gorgeous. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the Ukrainian embassy is this gorgeous building across from the Metropolitan Museum of Art, like ridiculous, like 18th century, you know, Romanesque mansion.
Yeah, it was like an office in Midtown. It was literally an office in Midtown. Like, this is the best you got.
Like, wow, the English was like, fucking who cares?
Yeah, it was wild.
There wasn't even like a, you know, like an English telephone booth or something to make it like.
There was like a seal or something. They tried to make it like.
Yeah, it was kind of, it was lame.
Whack.
That's probably like the one I'm going to be going to next month, because I can only get an appointment for the post office passport stuff on the other side of the island, where it's like a 3-hour drive to the country, North Shore, and there's like nothing out there. It's beautiful, but there's not much buildings.
Could you like take a vacation out there and like stay over?
We're gonna make a whole day of it. We're gonna do the beach. There's a couple cliffs that we like to dive off of that are up there. So my girlfriend, she teaches Zumba. She's gonna take the day off, and we're just gonna do a North Shore day.
We just keep saying she should be Beyonce. Beyonce.
But other than that, like before 5 Points, I got I'm working on like pieces for the Creon show.
Yeah.
I can't show that one yet though. I'm doing a piece for Juice Gase's Paris show. I can show this one. It's not done yet. It's got the birdhouse has to get painted. There's gonna be a bird
next month, right?
Next month, yeah. There's gonna be a bird on his dick, and there's gonna be a bird here, and they're gonna be singing to each other.
Nice.
One of the birds is gonna be jerking the other bird off with 2 fingers.
Exactly. A knife is gonna get pulled. You doing that show, CZ?
Yeah. I got a couple. I was in it last year as well, and I got a couple of pieces off him, so I saved one for this year. I've got one of the groups.
So yeah,
group with his knob out.
Oh yeah. Which one did you get? The standing, sitting one?
Standing, yeah, with his nice little bum.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's gonna be cool. That's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I'm behind KawaiiCon right now, so really the only thing I've done for KawaiiCon is a run of these guys so far, but I haven't even sanded them. I haven't touched them up yet.
Well, it's come out pretty clean. It doesn't look like it needs sanding.
Yeah, he's got a little area there in his teeth that I always have to cut with flesh cutters and sand down underneath where the sprues are.
Yeah. That holographic glitter stuff in there is really nice.
Yeah, it's the first time I'm using Mylar. I really like the Mylar a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't used it before. It's nice because it doesn't sink.
Oh, cool.
That's float, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. This guy's getting molded tonight. That's the fuck a duck.
Oh yeah.
He's large. Look at him.
Nice.
That's so cool.
So he's got a little bit more sanding to go, and then he's getting molded.
Is he shitting in a bucket?
That's my massive pour spout.
But if you just made it like that, then he is it.
That's just the pour spout right there. That's getting sanded off with the belt sander.
That's a whole other run. That's a whole other run.
That's the secret run that you can only buy from this.
Yeah.
On a pot.
You have to comment in the comments that you want to buy the duck shit in a bucket, and then he'll make you one.
Yeah. Let's do it.
We're here to inspire.
Actually, if you just make a bucket, that nice little top there will just fit in the bucket real nice.
Exactly.
That'd be perfect. That'd be dope.
Nice bit of shit.
Now I just want to do a whole shit bucket character now.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
called Shit Bucket.
yeah.
Only certain people that watch this because nobody else will understand it, and everyone will be like, well, "Why have you got like this
Why?
shit in a bucket?" And you're like, "Well, you have to listen to the stories."
See, and then CZ, we could collab, and you could do a different kind of drip, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
Gosh, it'd be fuego.
That'd be funny as fuck. Yeah, that'd be great.
Speaking of, I'm gonna go pee in the bucket.
You're gonna pee in the bucket.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
All right.
Nice.
That's cool. So what else is new, people? So that's Pucko and Rizzo shit in the bucket. That's what they want. Puck and Rizzo shit in the bucket.
Puck and Rizzo shit in a bucket. Yeah, I
That's
think
a
this is the
lot.
only other thing I have to show. These guys, this is Kiko Man.
Oh, that's
Nice.
awesome too.
okay, come on,
These-
nice.
Yeah, so Kiko Man, he's in the Rated R crew with Raw Man. These are gonna be premiering at 5 points. I'm sorry, not 5 points. They actually premiered at 5 points. I gave away mini ones for free last 5 points, but this is the first time that I'm dropping them for sale in this bigger form, or just selling them. Period.
That's awesome. So if you're in the chat, buy your tickets for 5 points. It's gonna be killer this year. Everyone's coming. Everyone's coming.
I'm coming.
You're coming. You are coming. We booked your ticket and everything.
Yes. Nice.
You got me a ticket?
I gotta say, CZ man, meeting you at 5 points, dude, you were one of the coolest, warmest people I met.
Oh,
'Cause
thanks, man. You're saying, yeah.
And that's real. There was a few artists that like I wanted to say hi to, and I said hi to them. And you know, I don't want to like put anything on them. Maybe they were nervous or whatever. Some people have anxiety stuff, but they were all kind of like, "Hey, nice to see you," and they would dip right away instantly.
Yeah.
But like
what I've understood over the years, right? I think there's a lot of folks in our industry that are maybe not as confident. Do you know what I mean?
right,
And a lot of us spend a hell of a lot of time just casting at home, doing like that. So when they're put on the big stage, sometimes maybe
Very
they come
introverted.
across a little awkward. Do you know what I mean? But I appreciate what you're saying, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it made me feel good because like there was 2 artists I had like introduced myself to because I really liked their work, and you know there was just like no conversation. It was like, "Hey, nice to meet you, bye." And then like, yeah, when I met you, you were like the first like settled, real like warm person as an artist that I talked to, where you were like, "How you doing? You good? You good?"
Yeah.
You know, and like you just feel it. I was like, man, this guy is cool. Like everyone else, you know, there's a lot of great people there, but yeah, you were definitely by far like the most. I didn't picture you from seeing you on Instagram being that nice and that warm. That sounds weird. But, you know what I mean?
No, that's totally. Yeah.
Teddy bear.
You can't judge people
amazing.
from Instagram.
Yeah, I don't know. I love those situations though. I do like. I mean, it was hot as fuck, and I hated that, right? But I like.
Oh yeah.
You weren't there last year, right? You didn't come last year.
Who?
Reb.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
You were there last
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's a blur.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were there. I saw you at the very beginning. Oh my god.
Yeah. I think I saw you guys 2 days before you opened.
Yes. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck are you here? Go away. I'm not ready. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't prepped last year because I think you guys invited me to do the paint, and this year I was like, man, I really want to do that. Like going back,
Good.
I wish I did last year.
This year.
Yes. Please.
Yeah. It's gonna be a different location this year. Actually, there's in where Artist Alley was last year, there's a full subway train that was recreated for HBO in there. It's like a real subway train. And it's clad with wood. So we're gonna have the live paint on the subway train. So it's gonna be super cool. Yeah.
That's all gonna match up by the end of the weekend. That'll be full of painting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You were painting on the train, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's
cool.
that's awesome.
It's like a skin that you just put over because inside is like a real subway train with like real seats. So that's going to be like a VIP bar, so people can go in there and drink if they're VIPs.
What, and people are painting the outside while they're in it?
No, if they want to do that, that's up to them.
Yeah.
I mean, we only use water-based paints anyway, so it shouldn't smell too bad.
Yeah, right, a bit right,
Yeah. So
That's
it's a fun thing. There's a couple of additions to the space that are really fun.
Yeah.
And a couple of things that
Including
we're
air
working on,
conditioning.
including air conditioning, which we should go and visit again soon and just make sure that they could actually switch it on because it was cold last time we went.
Are you guys running the DTAs this year?
Hopefully, yes. We haven't finalized any plans for it yet. So if it doesn't
Mhm.
happen, if it doesn't match up for 5 points, it'll be October. But we're trying to get it again.
And we have some other really cool announcements.
We do. We have one thing that we're working on that we can't talk about, so that kind of sucks. But if it happens, it's just going to be fucking crazy.
Insane.
So
That's awesome.
fingers crossed.
Would the non-talked about thing happen for 5 points or later?
Yes,
The
big
non-talk
5
about thing
points.
is definitely going to be happening at 5 points.
And it's
Okay,
crazy.
cool.
Nice.
And the problem is that, clutter's like you're kind of looking at clutter.
Yeah.
So making everything happen is like
Right.
tough.
We're doing it.
We're making it happen.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
So
Yeah, and that's what probably a lot of people don't understand too is that it's you guys. You guys don't have a staff of 20 or 30 people,
no.
Yeah.
No.
And they don't understand the work list that you have of everything that's going on, the stuff that's being produced, the stuff that's shipping out from shows, the stuff that's being worked on for the future, the communications to artists, communications to vendors. Yeah, it's just endless. And then you have to be parents.
Yeah, and then we have to go home and be parents. Exactly.
Oh man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun.
We wouldn't do it if we didn't love it.
It's true. But it is hard work.
Yeah.
Luckily, we have people for 5 points that help.
And
So it's not
we're,
just-
we're surrounded by beautiful friends and awesome people.
And awesome artists.
That's
that keep us
awesome.
going. Thank
Yes.
It's a
you.
good community. Yep.
It's a great
Yes,
community.
it is.
All right, should
It
we
is.
do Toy Tank?
On that note, we should.
Are you ready to sing, Alex? Have you warmed up your vocal cords?
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Put Alex in the hot seat.
All right. But Alex and the
Oh,
hot seat.
push. Play your little. Play your,
Oh yeah, let me do the
the mind eraser.
Yo,
Hello.
what's up, everybody?
Oh, Alex.
Yeah. Nice.
Hello.
Welcome to Toy Tank. So, oh my God. So, I'm always so excited to do Toy Tank. I'm especially excited for Toy Tank today. Boom. Oh, yeah. Toy Tank. Nice. There it is. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So, I'm just going to go ahead and sing this little fucking song that I do. It goes, Toy Tank, take me to the Toy Tank and show me your fucking toys. All right. Carolina Cool Cat, straight from the fucking Carolinas. I don't know if it's north or south. It doesn't even fucking matter because he's got the Carolina in his name. He is the first person to do 2 times on the Toy Tank. First time he showed us the Anchor Fist and the Squash. Now he has a whole new figure that he's going to be showing us. So without further ado, let's bring on Mr. Carolina Cool Cat. How are you doing today?
Hey, everybody. Good to see everybody again.
Can I
How's
just
everybody?
say, enjoying your rainbow shelf? That is totally.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah,
cool.
I put that together a couple months ago and wasn't sure how I felt about it at first, but it's growing on me. But
It's the best. Every year we
Yeah.
do a rainbow show because it's so fun and it's such a nightmare to put together, but it's fun. So
And is it North or South Carolina?
North.
North,
uh,
right? Because
Yeah.
nothing cool happens in South Carolina.
Well, there's a big resin scene in South Carolina compared to North Carolina. So,
What's a big scene
Yeah.
in South Carolina?
resin.
There is.
yeah, resin.
Where
A
the
lot of my
Murdoch
friends
thing?
are in South Carolina.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Was
I'll
that-
take back.
where is the Murdoch thing? Which part of Carolina? The Murdochs. You don't even know about it, right? You're like, who? Must be South
No.
Carolina.
Alex Murdoch.
Only Murdoch I keep up with is Matt Murdoch, Daredevil, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
Nice.
well, there was this.
Oh, the
There's
murder
this
dude.
I watched it for 6 weeks
Oh.
every day. It's okay.
There's multiple Netflix documentaries about the murders. You know.
Yeah.
oh, was that in Kitty Hawk?
Was Low Country?
I don't know. It's yo.
Might have
Let's
been
see
Kitty
this
Hawk.
character. Let's see this character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. All right. So
South
my new
Carolina.
character here is
Wow.
Plague Doctor. It's a sort of a basic name, but it's interchangeable. Character's name is Rob Vogel, which is means raven bird in German, I think. So it's interchangeable. Plague Doctor, Dr. Vogel. I wish he could focus, but I was telling
Yeah,
Alex I don't have any painted versions of these right now because I just got them finished. So yeah, I grew up with the Sam Raimi trilogy of Spider-Man films, so I love Green Goblin and always loved the aesthetic of Green Goblin and Hobgoblin. So I thought I'd take the Plague Doctor aesthetic and sort of merge the that aesthetic with a Green Goblin aesthetic. So yeah.
Cool.
Um,
So he's skip bashed?
yeah. So basically, like I do with all of my figures, there's a base figure, and then I get bash a bunch of stuff on it. So this is the base figure right here.
Oh, what is
This
that?
is from a GLaDOS compatible line called Mega Merge. Jesse DeStagio worked on it. Matt Dowdy, of course. So this is what I ended up doing to the figure. And
Cool.
so this is the only thing that's straight up bootlegged on this, and that is a Hobgoblin cape.
Yeah.
But it just works so perfectly. The hood just scooped right into one of his folds, and I just knew it was meant to be. And everything else is Abe's epoxy sculpt. His little needle, little syringe is off of another Plague Doctor figure, but I extended it using like a dental pick. It wasn't used, I promise, but yeah. So and then his glider was a whole lot of fun to make, and I was very nervous about it. Of course, his little footholds broke off when I took it out of the mold. But his glider is made out of polystyrene sheets, so it's like old school modeling techniques that they use in like Star Wars and everything like that. So it's layered up polystyrene sheets with the Raven skull up here. I sculpted out of epoxy clay and everything as well. So I'm super stoked with how it came out, because I mean, you just take him, put his feet in there, and he stays.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's very
So
cool.
yeah.
So
any questions about him?
Can I get one in GID?
Yeah.
Can I get one in like pink GID?
I had to order more powder. I just ran out of my pink glow in the dark powder. Actually, I was doing a commission for somebody, but yeah, y'all hit me up if you want a commission. I'm doing, spoiler alert, I'm doing stuff for Alex right now, but yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited about this because I just commissioned a couple pieces from you. I'm so excited about this because you came in. I think I told this last time you were on, but you came in. You happened to be in Beacon. You knocked on the door. I was packing up some stuff in the back, and then you were like, "Yo, dude, I've always wanted to come to Clutter," and so you and your family came in. I gave you guys a little tour and everything, and then you're like, "Yo, check out my figure." Then you pulled out Anchor Fist, and I was like, "What the fuck is this? This is awesome!" And so. Ever since then, it was man, yo, this kid has got something going on. It's so fucking cool. And so it's nice to see the way that you have been elevated with the squash, then elevated again with the dock, and just you keep on doing these new and interesting sculpts. I just can't wait to see what you keep on creating from this point on. But you're going to be in action figure show though, right?
Yes, I am. I've been checking tracking, and I thought it was going to arrive today, and it said it didn't, and so it's making me nervous. But yeah, I should have 10 custom Anchor Fists in there, and I'm super excited to reveal those very soon.
Are you going to come to the
opening?
opening?
I appreciate y'all asking me to join. Definitely an honor.
So you're going to come to the opening?
What was that?
You're going to come to the opening?
that's quite a drive. I might be in Beacon again in July, so I might see y'all then. But
we'll come to my show in July, like.
There you go.
What was that?
Yes. Easy will be here.
I've got a show on the 8th, so come and have a beer or whatever.
Yeah, I'll definitely, if I come in July, I'll definitely be stopped by the gallery, letting y'all know and everything. But yeah, the design for this guy, I was at Assembly Required back in February, and he debuted there. His design was actually predating Anchor Fist as far as like a character design. It's just something I knew I didn't have the talent to do when I first started out. So I knew it was going to be a waiting game. I came out with a little Keshi minifigure version of him, but he was terrible to cast, and I hated it. So this has been the form that I've always wanted him in. So I'm just super stoked that he's finally finished. This is actually one for Jesse DeStasio, but I haven't painted him yet. But I'm just super stoked with how he turned out.
Is that why you're going to be here in July? Is that when Jesse's doing his next? Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to be hopefully be at Toy Pizza Con again. Just got to see how things go. Got some expenses coming up that I'm aware of, but my family really enjoyed coming and meeting Alex, of course, and meeting Jesse, and they really want to meet Matt Dowdy now because they didn't get to meet him. And I'm like, look, he's about as elusive as a Sasquatch, so you got to catch him when you can. They're like, oh my god, I want to meet Dowdy, and I'm like, I can't guarantee it, but yeah. So hopefully we'll be back up there. Beacon was a fantastic place. It definitely reminded me of Asheville, North Carolina, which is one of my favorite places in North Carolina. So I felt sort of familiar and at home. So, yeah.
What are the dates of Toy Pizza Con? Do you have the
July 16th? July. So it's in the early teens of July.
Okay.
Jesse did a performance at last year's 5 Points.
He did do quite a performance. I heard about that. It was awesome.
I don't know if
Star Seven Rocks.
But we should definitely.
I got a question.
I would invite Jesse, but I don't know if we're going to put him on stage again.
But we should do Toy Pizza Con. Last year, we're probably going to be away again.
Yeah.
It's always when we're away.
I got a question for you.
Y'all were away last year.
We don't coordinate our lives with Jesse.
You should call him. Be like, yo, don't do it this weekend.
Brett, have you ever been on a submarine?
I have not. I definitely want to. As much as I love the beach and nautical things, and I'm a beach boy since I've been a child, I definitely want to do something like. I'd rather go in a submarine than dive and be exposed like that. So yeah, I think that's awesome that hot actor does that for his job. That sounds sick. Besides the people shitting and everything.
You're talking about that's the best part.
Yeah. It's just it
up.
seems like it should always be interesting job. So that's really sick. But no, y'all talking about shitting in weird places. I think as far as nautically, I pissed in a fishing boat, but it was like in the engine room, so there was all these diesel fumes, and I had a fishing line out while I went down to the bathroom, and the only fish I caught the entire day was while I was peeing in this bucket, being fumigated by the fumes. So that's usually how things go. And then I peed on top of one of the highest peaks on the Blue Ridge Parkway. So that
Peeing stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's what it's all about. Is like interesting urination and shitting stories. You know. Yo, can
I'm
you
exactly what they were saying is public restrooms. I hate it. I'll pee in any public restroom, but I will avoid pooping at all costs. I just feel exposed. I just feel in danger when you put yourself in that situation. So, yeah, I don't have many number two stories.
Well, yeah,
Thankfully.
pooping in public is kind of like the deep sea diving of the restroom, because the restroom got the nice compact environment. You're fucking diving is just like you're in the fucking public restroom. There's an analogy there somewhere.
Especially in a busy mall. Oh my gosh. And you have people like knocking on your stall saying, "Dude, hurry up." And I'm like, I'm going as fast as I can here. You got to cut me some slack. But yeah, it's a nightmare.
Yeah. Oh my god. Well, this is a perfect time to bring Hot Actor back into the conversation. For the hangout. So Red, do you have any advice or anything that you'd like to mention with Caroline Kukat?
I don't think I do, because he's doing it. I mean, he's making his own toys. He's casting. The creativity of doing the kit bashing, because it all comes from a vision that he has in his head. And I mean, you're doing it. You're doing it. The only thing I would say is don't overextend yourself so that you always enjoy doing it. There might come a point where you're making a lot more than you should, possibly in the future, and just try to keep your sanity, keep it so that you still enjoy doing it all the time.
Yeah, I've been trying to pace myself lately because I've had a lot of projects and upcoming projects, and I'm still with my parents and everything, but this is my job right now, and I try to remind myself of that. So I'm always like trying to get stuff out and cast it, and I have 3 pressure pots now to try to make more, and that was what we were going to talk about as far as the the pressure pot danger. But I've been casting a lot since the beginning of this year, especially after Assembly Required. So I'm trying not to get burnt out, because I do love this. I love the whole community, love the bootleg community, even though I don't consider myself a bootlegger. Everybody's so freaking cool. So I'm definitely trying not to take it for granted, and I'm definitely trying not to get burnt out on it. So yeah, I definitely need to pace myself on certain things.
Well, that's one thing I was going to say too, is because like how you said you're not really a bootlegger, because like the figure you just showed us, there's enough change that it doesn't feel like a bootleg. It doesn't feel like a hobgoblin, even though it has hobgoblin elements to it. It feels like your own character, and I think that might be the next step for you, is taking that into your own specific 3D design later on, because you're so creative. I think you could easily find someone that does 3D and do turnarounds and make it every which way the way you want it, as opposed to the limits of kit bashing completely. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely where I think I'm headed, hopefully. But are
they carded figures? Have you looked at packaging wise or anything? Or
so I usually just do the simple card with a poly bag. I did recently get some clamshells that Jesse Stasio again recommended me, because his action figure of the month stuff came in one, and I was like, oh, this is like the perfect size for like Anchor Fist and Dot, because Squash is like my biggest figure still, so here he is, and then Plague Doctor is my smallest so far. So he doesn't fit in any card that I can find that he wouldn't be like rolling around in. But I found some that I got a sample pack, and I'm gonna do some experimenting with, because I definitely want to do card backs in the future, but I also like the option of being able to remove it, especially since my stuff's Bias compatible and stuff like pops off.
I always appreciate the card. I like the card because I like the art. I like the art next to the figure. I like that little. I like it like that. Do you know what I mean? But I'm one that won't open it. Do you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean?
The resealable clamshells are always good, because if anything happens the figure, you can fix it and you can keep it on display in the clamshell, or you can take it out. But you know, a lot of the times we'll get clamshell figures and they get broken in transit because you can't, you know, put packaging in once they're sealed. So if they're in the ones, you can package them up nicely to ship them too, because shipping action figures is a thing on its own.
Tricky.
Yeah. Very nerve-wracking. You'll see when you get this box for the in-action figures, there's hella bubble wrap in that. And I was shaking it to make sure they weren't moving around and everything. I mean, my stuff's made out of smooth-on 60D. So it's basically like PVC. It doesn't snap like other resin.
Right.
Nice.
So thankful, but you know, there's always the first time for things.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as the pressure pots, I do have a gauge. I'm not that stupid. I have a gauge, a pressure gauge. But you know the little black thing that comes with the Harbor Freight pressure pots, you know, circular, and it has that twisty thing.
Yeah.
I totally just removed that because those always leak, and anybody else I talked to said, "Yeah, mine leaks." So I just took that off, and I have this little I have a T valve connected to the spout, and then my my gauge is connected to that. So it's a very, very simple setup. I've been running that same setup for probably a year and a half, 2 years now. I've had no problem whatsoever.
Teflon tape.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, for the leaks.
Tape.
Yeah.
I have.
Well, plumbing you might do around the house. Teflon tape.
I have all my spouts are Tefloned up to the max, but that original regulator piece, the black piece, has these screws around it, and I was doing the soapy water test where you know you drip some soapy water to see where it's leaking, and it was always leaking out of that regulator. So I never used it, so I just got rid of it. So,
you put a different regulator on, right? You have a different regulator.
I have a gauge. I have a pressure release valve in case there's too much. I have it set to like the dangerous amount of what they recommend on the pot, but I don't have a regulator.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah. I have not had any problems, you know, knock on wood. I thought I was hearing some noises yesterday, and I stood back and looked at it for like 10 minutes, and it was fine. But yeah, I'm running on 2 now. I traded a guy a figure for another pressure pot that could assembly required, and I took that pressure pot and kit bashed because my second pressure pot I got last year was leaking a lot. So I took that other pressure pot that I got from this guy and traded for him, and then I kit bashed those 2 pressure pots together, so now it doesn't leak anymore.
Nice.
Yeah. It's been a journey. I love all the technical stuff and learning about the pressure pots and everything. You know, that was my first big purchase with my stimulus money back in the pandemic, was all my resin supplies. You know, the compressor. I had a little pancake compressor from Harbor Freight that died in like 12 months or 8 months.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
See, that's amazing. You're very young. You started at what age?
The pandemic started, I was 20. So yeah, I've been doing this.
Okay, so you've already invested in yourself to the point where you have 3 to 4 pressure pots, practically. I know older artists that won't even invest in one. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not for everybody. I know a bunch of dudes that, you know, live in apartments and everything, and you know, my biggest concern is not myself, but my family, because I take my pressure pots and I have them, and my compressor is out the back door, and I open the door, put my hose to the pressure pot, and then I put them under this desk we have. So, you know, hopefully they don't explode or hurt any of my family members, but I'm not, you know, what happens happens.
Oh, you'll be fine.
No, yeah, I'm not worried about them actually killing anybody, but yeah. That when I went to assembly required the first time, that's what I was asking all the artists. I was like, do you run a pressure pot? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, well, I've heard they can explode. And they were like, yeah, they can explode. I mean, but it's not like enough to kill you. And I was like, okay. So should I get one? And then they were like, yeah, totally. You're just gonna have to figure it out, and what you're comfortable with and everything. So I'm glad because my skills, and after I got a pressure pot and everything, my frustration with my cast and everything. I mean, I still get like miscasts and everything every now and then, but like it's nothing like
It's night and day. Yeah.
And it's very, very humid here in North Carolina, especially where I'm from. It's so it definitely is a life changer.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was awesome.
Yeah, this was a fantastic
This
night.
was the funniest one we've done so far.
Yes.
Yeah.
All thanks to Kid in a Bucket. Thank you, Reb.
Yeah.
You're welcome. That's what I do. That's what I do.
Everybody.
And we have a special bond because our son's also called Rebel. And we didn't know that when we met you, that you were going to be called Rebel. And you're called Rebel and he's called Rebel. And then in his class at school, there's a girl that's called Rebel. And we were like, what the fuck? So he's not the only Rebel.
He's Rebel K.
He's Rebel K, yeah.
Now, everybody used to always ask me this. I get mad as a kid. They go, "Oh, Rebel, are you a rebel?" Do they ask him that all the time?
All the time.
All the time. Or
And he must roll his eyes by now. He must be like, "Come on."
He's not old enough to really perceive it yet, but if he's running and I'm like, hey, slow down, be careful, other parents will yell at me like, why'd you name him Rebel then if you're gonna
And you're like, shut the fuck up.
What he's gonna like really appreciate when he's older is his name is actually Rebel Wolf Starblaze. So that's his legal name. So he's gonna be like,
it's very Bowie. I like it.
Yeah, well, we were gonna do Stardust, and then our daughter was like, no, it's Starblaze, and she was little, so we kept Starblaze.
Yeah,
and the
that's
wolf
awesome.
Because under a wolf moon, so
you
can have his name.
Yeah, awesome.
He's just gonna give a shit about it.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you, everybody,
Thank
for being
you,
on the
Hot
podcast.
After.
Yes, this was
Thank
so
you guys.
You,
oh, my phone died.
No, you're still here.
Oh.
No, there we go.
Really?
That was just perfect timing.
CZ, we
Perfect
love
timing,
you. Mari
yes.
Tanaka, we love you.
Yes.
Hey, everybody out there in internet land, if you haven't already,
Buy 5 points
subscribe
tickets.
to our channel. Subscribe to the channel.
We're at
Buy 5.
different
Yeah, we're at
levels.
different point. We're making different points.
Buy 5
points
points tickets. It's gonna be awesome. Subscribe, like, do stuff. Watch us next week.
Yes.
Because we'll have more fun again with other people.
Awesome.
Rebel probably will become a lawyer. I've said he'll become an accountant, so you're not far off. Thanks for watching. Keep buying toys and being awesome.
We
and
love
we'll
you
see you
all.
again soon.
Yeah. Shout out Trashberry. Join us.
Yeah, hi, Trashberry. Did you hear all the conversation about you? You should come back. Reb shouts you out a lot. Bye. God,